Connecting sleep to sports isn't easy, but here goes. Mattress Firm is America's neighborhood mattress store, and it should be your goal to check out the deals that they have going on every single day. Their mattresses are softer than your rival's team's defense. They get a 10 out of tennis. You're going to love your new bed. Okay, all terrible dad jokes aside, head to mattressfirm.com/podcast and stretch your budget further than a gymnast before a floor routine. Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
And new undisputed UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael the Count Bisping.
This is Believe You Me on the Gas Digital Network.
Okay, we are here.
This is it. It's the podcast.
Welcome
outside
to the Bisping household. We are here outside on a beautiful sunny day. Lewis, you flew in with your beautiful girlfriend Kim last night, entertained us at the Brea Improv.
I appreciate you coming out. You brought your pops out. Jan Bisping, who's going to join us later on the show.
That's right, he is, yeah.
Hang
Should
out a
be
little
fun.
bit. And, we had a fun time. Big J. Okerson headlining the show. Kurt Metzger, Kim Congdon, opening it up with myself. It was a lot of fun. Brea, dude, the grass is just always greener, because how do you sit here and complain about your life?
Well, it's funny you say that, because last night one of the comedians, I forget which one, but he was complaining, saying, I come to this bumfuck town. And Brea, it's a small town, obviously. It's not far from where I live. But I'm like, when I left at the end, I'm like, yeah, even that comedian calls it a fucking bumfuck town. What are we doing here in the middle of fucking nowhere? But you're right, it is, the weather's nice, but still, it's a small place. But listen, I just want to say well done last night, Lewis. I haven't laughed like that. So yourself, everyone from Legion of Skanks, you had a lot of support there, a lot of fans. You all did absolutely amazing. Me, my dad, my wife, we hadn't laughed that much in a long time. I will be listening to the Legion of Skanks from now on, I think.
Oh, good.
I've never done it before, and I've never listened.
Yeah. Well, you were on the show as a guest once, and look, here's the thing, and people don't know, we come from two different worlds, because it is very much a different world. If you ever want to listen to Legion of Skanks and you're a fan of this show, you almost have to go into it knowing what you're going into, though. When we try to push the limit, we call it the most offensive podcast on earth, and we try to push the limits. We try to be as offensive as possible.
You purposely try to be offensive?
Yes, that's the idea.
Why?
Because nobody's really doing that right now. But
why do you want to be offensive? I mean, I get it if you have a controversial opinion.
Right.
But why would you purposely want to offend people?
I think that there's a place for people that want to hear fucked up humor. And it's obvious.
Yeah, there is a desire for that type of comedy.
100%.
Yeah, people like to hear that shit.
When you go into YouTube comments or you go into Reddit, you see the type of jokes that people make, and there's people still do want to make jokes about race and sex and and all this stuff. And the industry and you know this because you work for the UFC, which is a major corporation. The industry is sort of killing that style of comedy.
The type of stuff that my friends share with me on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
The pictures that I get sent. Holy shit. Yeah. So you're right. There is a need or a desire for that type of offensive comedy, because the stuff that I get sent, and I wish they wouldn't send it. There's one friend in particular, Blanky, if you're watching. I've texted him. I've told him, stop sending me this shit, because whilst I see the humor in it, it is funny. The problem is when you receive a WhatsApp picture, it saves to your camera roll, and you might be talking to like a family member or something, or in a store, and you're trying to find the picture, and you're scrolling through. The next minute, you've got a picture of.
I fucked up.
You got some offensive pictures that come up there,
So my son goes through my phone all the time, right? And he just scrolls through, and I'm like, whatever. So I don't really me and my girlfriend are in like a relationship, so we don't really take dirty pictures anymore, and she lives here. But when she was in California for a while, we'd take little photos, and so he was scrolling through one time, and it was literally just a picture of my hard dick. He just swiped through. It was a picture of my hard dick. And
can you stop saying your hard dick, please?
My hard dick.
I don't like it. It's not an image I want in my head.
You shouldn't like my hard dick. We're on the same page.
I definitely don't.
But and then I go, oh shit, and I swiped it. He was like, Dad, what was that? And then he was obsessed over it. Kim, you don't even remember this, because he goes, I told him it was my finger. I told him it was my finger. I deleted it. When he wasn't looking, I wasn't deleting it. And then I took another picture of my finger because he was obsessed with seeing the picture again. He's 5 years old. He's like, Dad, what was that picture? And I was like, oh yeah, it was my finger. So
why would he be so intrigued about a finger? It's just sod's law, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's old enough to understand that it's a dick pic.
Yeah, no, probably. Well, it's not, is he?
No, he's
what is he,
5?
5? No, he has no
idea.
idea. The finger. I'm just looking through the WhatsApp that Blanky, my friend, sends me, and if you look, most of them aren't open because I know what they are. There's only one that I'm happy to share on here. It was the day after Stephen Hawking died, and he sent me that.
For sale, one previous owner. Oh, it's Stephen Hawking's
Stephen
wheelchair.
Hawking's wheelchair. Which again, at the time it was funny, I guess. But whatever. How did we get onto that? Anyway, well done last night. It was good shit.
I appreciate it.
Very, very funny.
But that bigger topic there, it is interesting. Even something like that where you go like, I don't know, like, people, we talked about it last week on the show with Joey Diaz having to apologize about making a joke. And it's almost like, there's like a weird, isn't there, forget even just jokes, right? Let's say even having a conversation, forget jokes, put that to the side. Don't you want people that have differing opinions to kind of come to a table, sit down, have a conversation, go back and forth, be able to present their points, and then kind of walk away with it with some sort of truth in the middle? Yeah,
absolutely. But the problem is whoever's, whoever's platform that is, that you're on there, and you're being super offensive, then they're the ones that maybe face lawsuits and things like that. Talking about, mainstream TV channels and things like that, you could sit in, what's it called, the Creek in the Cave or whatever.
Yeah.
You guys can sit down there and be super offensive and say whatever, because realistically, what's the backlash you're going to get? A few comments on YouTube, maybe YouTube take you down. But if you're on, network television or even just any kind of cable television and you're saying that shit, next minute then you've got a whole different thing to deal with. Then you've got advertisers pulling away.
Well, then you got
people
bosses
making complaints.
But it's the same thing
exactly.
Now.
So whilst I don't really know what point I'm making here, but...
No, but you're right about that, but it's also the same thing now because, look, you look at YouTube, they take down content all the time. Our content, we don't really monetize our content on YouTube for this show.
No.
We have guys that put our videos up on their YouTube channels.
We need to monetize this, okay?
Well, no, I'll tell you, I let them monetize it. We actually...
No, I'm kidding.
There's guys that put it up on their YouTube channel, and we reach out to them. We say, hey, look, as long as you plug it back to our show, and we can use it, and they keep our ads in. If they edit out our ads, I say, fuck them. But if they keep our ads in, we get paid for that anyway, so go have fun. If you want to build a YouTube channel with 1 million subscribers, that's not really what we do. We're not,
it's
but
not what we do at all.
Yeah,
right
anyway.
now we're sitting in the sunshine and we're going off on a tangent, Lewis.
I like it.
Yeah. Well, all right, let's get back on track. So my dad is here. He flew in. I came back from the UFC event last week. My dad came with me. So as we say, he's going to jump on the podcast in a bit. Always got
I like it.
A lot of controversial opinions, talking about controversial stuff. Yeah, he normally is. We'll see how he does. He said he's a little concerned about a camera being on us.
Why?
I don't know, because he's not used to cameras. Most people, they cringe. Sorry, not cringe. They clam up whenever a camera gets on them. Most people, when they're not used to a camera, do one of two things. One, they clam up, but they don't say too much of anything. Or they go the other way and they start playing up to the camera and hamming it up and acting like an asshole.
I think a big part of the goal here is to forget that the camera's there. Forget the
for
microphones
sure,
are
absolutely.
there.
But that comes with experience. When you've done that for a while, when you've been around cameras for a long time, then you do forget they're there. It's like when I was on the Ultimate Fighter 3 back in the day. You walk in and you're very, very aware that the cameras are there.
Right
because
there,
there
right
is.
in your
They're
face.
literally right there, a cameraman and a sound guy with a boom and everything. And
People don't realize that. It's not even just that. There's like 8 other people on the side of that camera.
There's multiple crews
You're having an
walking
intimate
around the
moment
house.
on the phone with your wife
Multiple
crying.
crews in the house, and then, but after a while you do forget, because you're in there for 6 weeks. And I never forget one night, if ever you're talking, they want to get it, you know what I mean? They want to get the conversation. I remember one night, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm laid in bed. We're all in the bedroom. Lights are out, and I couldn't sleep. So I can't remember who it was next to me. It might have been Kendall Grove. I whisper, Kendall, you awake? And he's like, yeah, I'm awake. And we start having a chat. Next minute, poof, doors open, lights on, camera crew. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Get out. I'm trying to get to sleep. She's like, oh, sorry, bro, you're talking. I'm like, what the fuck? I said, I don't care. We're trying to get to sleep. We're not discussing anything relevant, okay? We're just having a little bit of pillow talk before we go to sleep, okay, in a totally non-gay way, all right? And I say, get the fuck out, you cheeky bastard, right? And they walk out, they shut the doors and everything. Next minute, I get called into the producers' meeting, into the producer's office. I said, what's up? They said, we don't appreciate you using racial slurs to our cameraman. I said, what the fuck are you talking about? Anyway, the cameraman that came in, he was Chinese.
That's right.
And I said, you cheeky bastard. But they don't know
They
the
thought
word.
you said you chinky bastard.
Yeah, I said, get out, you chinky bastard. I said, no, I didn't say that. I said, you cheeky bastard. I said, that's an English word. And they're like, are you sure, Michael? We don't want no racial slurs to our cameramen. They do a very hard job.
And you, get your knickers out of here, too. No, his knickers. His knickers.
So we're talking about cameras. There's my dad in the background there, just having a little listen. Having his, 20th cigarette of the day, Dad?
Let him go. Let him live.
But he says that, I tell him, Dad, don't smoke so much. And
Did you ever smoke cigarettes?
I mean, I have them when I'm drunk, but no, never been a smoker.
As like a kid, though? You didn't really get into it?
Never. But I said, Dad, try and give up on the cigarettes. Oh, I've lived my life. I'm all right. I'm like, well, yeah, but we'd prefer if you lived a little bit longer.
Give it a couple more years in.
Yeah, see the grandkids grow up a bit.
It's so weird because you see people, they smoke during. My great-grandma smoked, till she was 75 years old. I think she quit, and then she lived till she was 95.
Yeah, well, that's what they say, don't they?
Yeah.
You can't really.
I think it's.
But I do think generally, I mean, they do. There is always those examples, those outliers, those people that do, break the rules, drink every day, smoke like a chimney, and live to 95. But still, generally speaking, I think it's not good for you. So.
I think it's a combination of everything. It's like if you're, it's genetics. I think it's how your body handles it. It's your body putting different things into it that shouldn't be there, and your body will turn it into cancer if you don't have a strong system. So whether it's genetically or you're working out, exercising, eating healthy, I think there's a way to
or a picture of your finger.
Yeah, or just a picture. Oh shit. All right, let's see. The name of the show is definitely going to be Pillow Talk. But anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, so Friday, as I say, my dad was here, You
guys went to a fight together,
Yeah,
too,
that's right. I said, hold on. Jason Perillo, my boxing coach, he's got a guy fighting at LFA. LFA is ran by Ed Suarez, anyway, whatever. Anderson Silva's manager, amongst many others. And he runs this show, and it's kind of become like an unofficial feeder system for the UFC, I guess. A lot of the guys that become champions there go on to the UFC. Anyway, as I said, Perillo had a guy on, so we, went to support Perillo, catch up. It was at Morongo Casino. Went by, watched Jason's guy knock his guy out in about a minute.
As he does.
And then there was a big headline in the main event. There was
the biggest thing that came out of it.
The biggest thing that came out of that weekend, but I wasn't there.
You left.
We left to go play some blackjack because, as I say, it was a good event and there was a lot of intoxicated people there.
Yeah.
And all wanted pictures, and whilst it is nice, I couldn't chat to my dad or anything. I was just taking pictures the whole time.
Let's take a moment as we tell this story because this is interesting. Let's talk about etiquette. Fan etiquette, because that is an interesting point right there. Because there's a way to be a fan, I think, and there's a way to not kind of cross a line. And we all have fans on various levels. Obviously, you walk through Vegas, you're mobbed. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like on a Friday night.
It depends. Obviously, when there's an MMA fight on, you are. One is, but I think that comes with the territory. If you're certainly at an MMA event. I get what you're saying about etiquette, but if you're at an MMA event and you've had a long career in the UFC and you've been a champion and this and that, I guess you got to kind of expect that a little bit and be a little bit more gracious with your time.
And
but
also,
still, when the fights were going on, they were still coming over and trying to get pictures.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm not complaining, but, it became more of an appearance.
Well, so then instead of you being an
fights.
asshole and being like, no, I don't want to do that, you said, let me remove myself from the situation, go play some blackjack with my dad, instead of having to say no to people over and over again.
I mean, to be honest, I did a lot of pictures with kids and stuff like that. Never said no to a kid, whatever. But, we did it for a while. Then we was like, all right, we've watched Jason. We've watched what we came to see.
Yeah.
Went to watch Jason Perillo's guy. Pardon me, I forget his name. Some Swedish guy, undefeated. But we came to watch him. You know what I mean? I didn't really know anyone else on the card. So we left, took some pictures, went and played some blackjack. But then in the main event, some guy, what was his name, Lewis? You got it there?
Let's see.
For the guys listening, what happened was he was having a fight. He hit the guy. He dropped the guy. The guy went down onto his back. And as he went down, as the guy fell back, he lifted up his knees in the air. The guy that knocked, this is really hard to describe, the guy that knocked the one person down went to then land a follow-up hammer fist, and as he went down to land the hammer fist, landed on the guy's knee and knocked himself out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's bizarre.
That's bizarre.
It's absolutely bizarre. If you look here, so he hit him, and then he went to do this.
Yeah.
But as he did that and he went down, he landed on the guy's knee.
And he knocked himself
out. So then the guy that was underneath that had been dropped,
won the fight.
He won the fight by knockout.
Whoa.
But then he jumps up.
Almost reminiscent of Matt Hughes versus
Carlos Newton.
Yeah, where he knocked him out by slamming him. He knocked himself out by slamming him.
They both knocked each other out.
Yeah.
One went to sleep, the other one was knocked out.
Who got the win?
Matt Hughes.
Bizarre. Anyway, good.
Anyway, so then the guy that's won by weird knockout, he gets up and he's super pumped, jumps on the guy's stomach or midsection.
He was laying on his stomach, so it was almost like jumped on.
So he was face
back.
down. So he jumped on his back,
Spine.
jumped off his spine, as you say. Spine is the key word.
Yeah.
And then did a backflip or a front flip, whatever, and then was disqualified. So the guy that got knocked out ended up winning the fight. Now, if you can't follow that, I'm not surprised because it's fucking. I don't think I follow it, and I've seen it multiple times.
The guy
what
who
was
got
the guy's
knocked
name?
out won the fight.
Because the guy did a backflip off his spine.
Okay, so Chapman was the guy who got this. Okay, wow, this is very. Irvin Ayala KO'd himself, throwing a hammer fist on the ground when his chin slammed into Chapman's knee.
Yes.
Chapman is the fighter. Drew Chapman was disqualified from the fight on Friday night after doing the flip off the downed opponent. So Drew Chapman's the guy who, look, that whole crazy scenario, like it all happens the way it happened. It goes down. It's just a fucking just a stupid misstep on his part almost.
Yeah, no,
it's all so crazy. And then I understand in the moment, like thinking it's kind of funny to jump off the guy. It's dangerous and it's idiotic.
Well, it could have brought the guy's back.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things. But the reality was the intent there wasn't to hurt the guy at all. He was just being a dummy.
Yeah. So obviously he did the front flip, the back flip, whatever. Then the referee disqualified him, so the other guy won. Since then, there's been a massive backlash, outpour of hate on the guy. Lorenz Larkin did a video on Facebook saying, calling him every name under the sun.
Really? Oh, I want to see that.
Tons of people have come out and said, this guy's a fucking asshole.
Is he a shithead? Does he have a reputation for being a shithead
well,
beyond that?
So
or
the
it's just off
guy,
that?
I saw a statement from the guy.
Yeah.
Is it Chapman? Chapman. Yeah. So I saw a statement from the guy, and to be honest, he couldn't have been any nicer about it. He couldn't have been any more apologetic. Right. He said this will haunt him for the rest of his life because he's the one that has to watch the video of himself doing it. He agrees that he was out of line. He agrees that it was stupid. He said he was just caught up in the moment. He won the fight and he just did it. And he went on and on and on without reading his statement online. He went on and on and on and apologized so much.
I can't hate on that. Like
I can't hate on it either. He was in the moment.
It's just every person that's listening to this. Think about that stupid moment where you embarrass yourself by doing something dumb in the world. We've all been there.
Do it every week.
Just honestly, every week on this podcast, we have at least 2 or 3 of them. Okay.
Yes, we do.
But just an embarrassing moment where I remember when I was. Just you make some mistake and it kind of ends up you either you lose something, you get your girlfriend pissed off at you, whatever it is. Nobody's above making a dumb mistake, and the reality is he lost way more than than that by losing the fight and getting the DQ. So fuck it.
I think it was his. Well, yes, so fuck him is right. I guess I think it was his first professional fight, if I'm not mistaken. So certainly got off on a bad taste, but bad start to his career. It's not going to help him. He's probably going to struggle getting further fights. So, and I feel for the guy that happened to. At the end of the day, no one died, no one got hurt. His back's intact. So, so that's that. There you go.
Yeah.
My dad won at blackjack as well. So
there you go. It's a good night for everybody involved.
All in all, good night.
Yeah.
He paid me back the $200 that he was playing with, and made a bit extra on top. So we did all right. Everyone.
So look,
but I got food poisoning as well.
No, you didn't.
I did. I got food poisoning.
What'd you eat?
Well, Inland Empire, in the desert, pretty much, and we ordered. What did we order? My wife will be here in a minute. There'll be more coffee on the way. But we ordered. What did we have, Dad? We had calamari. We had oysters. We had crab cakes.
Seafood.
Fucking everything was seafood.
Yeah, you don't even know.
In the desert. And then I got food poisoning.
Where'd they get that seafood?
I have no idea. But honestly, I got home and I was like, I was feeling really nauseous. Went upstairs, spewed up everywhere.
Yeah.
Violent, intense throwing up.
That's it, man.
And that was that. Yeah.
So let's talk about a couple more things. We want to bring your dad on in a few more minutes, but there's a couple other things that have been happening. Especially as it relates to you. UFC Liverpool, I guess, is an event that's going to be coming up pretty soon, and they just booked headlining Darren Till versus Wonder Boy Thompson, which that's a fucking really exciting fight. And the biggest thing that I take from that is that they're really trying to push Darren Till.
Well, they certainly are trying to push Darren Till, and rightly so. The guy's got a bright future, and he can do a lot of big things in this sport, absolutely. But matching him up against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, I mean, it's either, that could be a make or break. Not necessarily a break. I mean, Wonderboy's no job. I just drank that coffee. It's repeating on me a little bit. It's speaking hard work. So, It's a hard fight. I think it's a hard fight for both of them. You know, it's not a gimme fight. But if Till can get past him, he beats Cerrone. If he beats Wonderboy, then yeah, for sure he's
set up.
He's a legitimate star in the welterweight division and definitely on his way to doing big things. That said, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is no joke for anybody. Till looked good against Cerrone, but he did go to a decision a couple of times, and he has had a draw in the UFC. So whilst he's undefeated, you know. This is by far his toughest test. If he gets past him, then, you know, definitely a problem for Tyron Woodley in the future if he can beat Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Speaking of Tyron Woodley,
yeah,
they're doing an interim title.
Why do they do this?
I don't know. I don't know. You know, so
I know why.
I know why, because Woodley isn't fighting. Simple as that. He said, you know, I mean, you can blame the UFC. Or you can blame Woodley. I don't really think blame is the right word, but Woodley doesn't want to fight yet. It has been a while since his last fight, and he says he's not going to be ready until like April, May. So I guess the show must go on. So they're doing an interim title fight. That will just make the fight between the winner of... So it's going to be Rafael dos Anjos versus Colby Covington in Brazil for a welterweight interim title. The winner of that will then face Tyron Woodley. That will only make that fight bigger. And realistically... It's not that big of a deal. You do roll your eyes a little bit when it's in an interim belt. When Whittaker fought Romero for the interim belt, for me, you know, I didn't really give any real credit to that. I thought, what the fuck? You know?
But you also, it wasn't really offensive. You broke it down the best I'd ever really heard anybody break down the idea of an interim title, and it stopped bothering me as much as the way you put it. The reality is it's a belt that holds your number one contender place, right?
Absolutely.
And that's kind of, the reality is that's kind of cool. If there's an injury or for whatever reason, contract negotiations, the champion can't fight, you then are safe. You get that title, you go, I'm truly going to fight for that title, and that's really all it is. And I can justify it a little bit more now thinking of it that way versus the other side of it, which is as a UFC marketing tool, which I think they do that a lot too. They know if they put an interim title on the line, they throw that on a poster, they're going to sell more pay-per-views. I'm sure the UFC marketing department has it all figured out. They sell this many pay-per-views when there's a championship. They sell this many when there's not a championship.
Yeah, sure.
So I don't.
To be fair, playing devil's advocate from the UFC's perspective, Woodley has been out for a while now. I mean, what was it, last July when he
fought?
July
29th, not
yeah,
that
July,
long.
Yeah. Well, it's not that long. And, you know, as a champion, maybe you only need to fight once a year. But still, he what did he do, tore his labrum or something like that? And then I think he's having PRP. Did he have surgery? He might have had surgery as well. So, you know, from the UFC's perspective, it's like, well, the champion is injured. So the show has to go on, as they say. So they do an interim title fight. As I said before, as you just said, it just means we have a clear-cut number one contender.
Yeah.
I don't think Woodley's going to be too bothered about it, just like I wasn't bothered about it either.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll downplay the importance of it.
Yeah, of
but
course.
Fuck
Absolutely.
It. Why not? You know? Yeah, I don't like, and I like that fight. That'll be a really fun fight. Covington versus
Woodley,
RDA.
Dos Anjos versus Covington.
Yeah, that'll be really fun.
In Brazil.
Yeah.
Of course, Covington talks a lot of shit about Brazil.
Yeah.
So that should be fun.
They know that. This is why UFC is so brilliant, because they look at that and they go, oh, yeah, dude, we have a legitimate bad guy to send in there.
Oh, no,
like, the stadium will go fucking apeshit, and that's part of the show. You know, that's why they're very, very smart. You got to give them credit where credit's due. Most people be like, hey, you know what? Let's avoid the problem of having our fighter possibly be murdered by Brazilians. But
that is definitely a legitimate possibility, you know. when I fought in Brazil, they told us not to go out, you know, unless we had security guards and stuff like that. Because, you know, I mean, I didn't see anything to feel unsafe or anything like that. I found the people to be lovely. But they did say, you know, be careful going out at night. We prefer it if you did it with security guards. People do get robbed. But as I say, I had nothing but pleasant experiences. But Colby Covington, what did he say last time? Who did he beat? Maya.
Was it Maya? Oh, he was just calling them
Maya.
animals. He's like, the Brazilian people are animals. Like,
yeah, it was hilarious,
I love it.
I guess, but not if you're Brazilian.
But once again, you don't have to, even if you're Brazilian. Look, as a kid, I remember watching, this is old school wrestling, I remember watching The Undertaker defeat Hulk Hogan at, like, Survivor Series. And I remember I was a little kid, I was like 8, and being like, just having the moment being like, oh, shit. This was like a turning point in my life where I was like, that guy is actually way cooler. Hulk Hogan's kind of whack.
I don't know. I liked Hulk Hogan when I was about 10 years old. When I was 10 years old.
Eat your vitamins, all that shit. Come on, dude. The Undertaker was a fucking dead man who just killed the good guy. And I remember I had a moment as a kid being like, oh, wait, no. This is actually cooler. And I just appreciate a guy who's willing to go in there and be the bad guy. You know, you obviously you do as well. You kind of played that role.
I never tried to be the bad guy.
Well,
Never,
they made you.
never,
They
ever,
made
tried
you the
to be
bad guy for a long time.
Now I realize why.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm English, and now having lived in America, there's this whole thing, you know, about the War of Independence and all this type of shit.
Yeah, we fucked you guys up.
Yeah,
We
of course you did.
seceded, became the greatest nation of all time.
You beat a few people on the other side of the Atlantic. You know, our home base was in England. We had a few fucking raggedy-taggedy fucking pirates.
We didn't even have guns. We had sticks and twigs. We threw them at you guys. We're like, hey, mate, we got to retreat. We got to get out of here. They're killing us.
We said, have this fucking stinking pile of shit. We don't need it. We run the rest of the world. You can have it. This is more hassle than what it's worth, you know.
I have a question for you about the interim title. What do you? I think they should be. There's certain things, okay, and this is everything from MMA judging to the rules to the refereeing to the scorecards. I think that they should create some clear-cut criteria for it. I say 1 year of inactivity. Give an interim title. Just make it a year, so then we know.
I guess that would make it clearer if there was some defined. What's the word I'm looking for? Defined
parameters.
Parameters. There you go. You know, time. If there was a timeline. If
Yeah.
there was a timeline of inactivity where they then had to bring in an interim title. Yeah, I like that. Of course,
one year
it makes it clear. So listen, if you don't fight within a year, they are going to bring in an interim title. But if you don't fight within a year and you've got no intention of fighting, then they're allowed to strip you. I mean, to be fair, they did strip Conor McGregor, as we spoke about this. That's just going to make that fight even bigger. It's going to make Conor even bigger.
Well, Khabib said if he wins, Conor's going to have to get in line to fight.
What does he mean by that?
I guess he's going to have to earn his title shot again. Conor will if Conor says to the UFC, strip him and give me that title right now in front of his family, the UFC will just do it. I'm sorry. There's no way Conor doesn't get what he wants. Khabib could talk all the shit he wants, but the reality is it's still the Conor show. Come on, doggy.
No. It is the Conor show. For sure it is, yeah. And you know, he's the biggest star. But that said, if Khabib is the champion, I mean, he kind of has to face Conor because he can't say he doesn't want to fight him. Otherwise, he's just going to look like a pussy.
Yeah.
I mean, who else would he say after he beats Ferguson? He's beaten pretty much everyone else. So there is no one else anyway, you know?
Do you believe that when Conor says that he's ready to jump in to save 223?
That was bullshit. No, he was ready to jump in.
No, the next one he's saying. If somebody falls out, Khabib or
Ferguson. Here's the thing.
Ferguson.
Conor said, what was it? Ortega and Frankie. No. Was it when Brian Ortega?
He would have fought Frankie if they made.
Who was Frankie supposed to fight?
Originally, who was
Who was
it?
supposed to fight? Anyway, Frankie Edgar. No, it was supposed to be Frankie Edgar versus.
It's going to be a great fight.
I don't know.
Nobody saw Brian Ortega coming in and knocking out Frankie Edgar. I'll tell you that much.
Was it Jose Aldo? No, it wasn't Jose Aldo. Max Holloway.
Max Holloway, the championship.
What am I talking about?
Yeah.
It was a title fight.
Yeah, the title fight.
Max Holloway got injured, and Conor said that he would step in and fight Frankie. But what didn't make the headlines is that he said he wanted it at 165 pounds, which is a weight class that doesn't exist.
For $12 billion.
Yeah, exactly. So that was nice of Conor to get some credit, get some
You
press.
look like a badass because he gets go.
You look like a badass, but you know that would never ever happen.
Never.
You know,
never in a million years.
And once again, at 223, he's doing the same thing. You know, I mean,
as he should. Good for him. It's smart marketing. Whoever is, you have the same manager, so I shouldn't say whoever his manager is. Good management right there, dude. Keep on just putting your name out there. Because what'll happen is you can say, yeah, I'll save that fight, and he's being honest because the reality is there is a price and there are parameters that they can set for him to come in and fight, but he can just set whatever those parameters are. He doesn't actually have to take the fight. He can just say it.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and then everybody looks and
I'll step in at 223. Why not?
Yeah, exactly.
You too, right?
I will 100% step in. For the record, I'm available if he doesn't make it. Now we'll have to do the fight at 195 pounds, which is a weight class that doesn't exist. But just so you know, I'm here if you need me. I'll be honest, I don't think I could make 195 pounds right now if my life depended on it. I'm 225. You got a chance.
There you go, cruiserweight, Michael Bisping.
Yeah, we need that division. I'm telling you. Talking of which, just going back to UFC Liverpool for a second. This is a Believe You Me exclusive.
Uh-oh, here we go.
UFC, I'm available. If you want me on that card, you got my number.
What's the date?
May 27th. 9 weeks.
Ooh,
9 weeks.
That's a nice little...
nice retirement fight.
That's nice right
Liverpool.
there.
Northwest of England. That's where I'm from.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
So, yeah. I am interested in fighting on that card. If we'll see. We'll see what the UFC come up with. But I'm definitely interested.
I would love to see that.
For sure.
And
that would be my last fight, and then I could.
Out of all the people that you put
out
there,
off.
Are you most interested in Luke? Is that the one that excites you the most?
Not really. I said I spoke to the UFC already. I'm playing a little game here, but I said to the UFC, throw some names my way. We'll see. So we'll see what they come back with. But yeah, I'm certainly interested. Definitely interested. So there you go. Don't want to hijack it talking about me, Lewis.
No, it's
lots of stuff to talk about. But I just thought I'd throw that out there.
You should throw it out
maybe
there.
Get some headlines for the Believe You Me podcast.
And also for the people that talk shit, because you've been very public about not wanting to fight Vitor in your retirement fight.
Yeah. I just want to address this to you motherfuckers.
Because people talk shit.
Yeah.
Rockhold's a way tougher fight. Rashad, way tougher fight.
I don't want to fight Vitor Dad Bod Belfort, right? Who looks like, he should be embarrassed to have his shirt off, 100%. And then I see people saying, he doesn't want to fight him, he's turning him down. I'm not turning him down, I'm just saying that's not somebody I want to share an octagon with. Yeah. I don't really have too much, I have zero respect for the guy. Also, people saying I avoided Whittaker and Romero. I will say this once again. I accepted a fight against the winner of Whittaker and Romero. It's not my fault Whittaker injured himself and didn't want to coach the Ultimate Fighter. So, Jesus Christ, I feel like I'm repeating myself, which I have to get it through to certain people that don't listen.
People have to hear a narrative like 10 or 20 times before it even sinks in.
because me being a coward and ducking fights, that's the narrative they want to believe. That's what they want to hear, But the reality is, and Dana White will back me up on this, I did a deal backstage when they were supposed to, prior to them fighting, I accepted a fight with the winner. So there you go. Anyway.
And nobody thought that Whittaker's a tougher fight than GSP. I always say that whole situation was sort of a massive disrespect to George St. Pierre. I mean, literally one of the best fighters of all time who's beaten every guy that's ever been put in front of him. The 2 losses that he had in his record, he completely avenged. So, I don't know. Anyway, so let's talk about, do you want to bring your dad in now? What time is it?
Yeah, why not? We've been going for a while.
We're at about 30 minutes in. Here, let's get another chair. Kim, can you help? Can you set us up another chair for Jan?
Come and join us, Dad.
Yeah, right in the middle. Beautiful. Here, let me set up this other mic.
Is Rebecca back yet, Dad?
All right. So joining the show, it is the original Bisping, the OG Bisping.
Don't be shy, Dad. Don't be nervous.
No, it's impossible. Jan Bisping joins the show. What's up, brother?
I'm good.
You gotta hold the microphone to your mouth.
I'm good. I'm pleased to be here.
Yeah, very excited to have you on the show. We talked about it for a while about getting you to come on and do do a little something with us, maybe calling in. Didn't you call into the radio show a while back?
No. It's it's 8 hour time difference.
Hold it a little closer, Dad. Yeah, about that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we'll just chat along, whatever we're talking about. You can just join in. We were talking about this, weren't we, Dad, about the Anthony Joshua thing. We can chip off with that because did we talk about this last week?
No,
or
we
not?
didn't. That's new news.
Yeah.
Anthony Joshua, huge heavyweight British boxer. Once again, I don't follow boxing like that. You give me shit because I borderline disrespect the sport of boxing. I'm not saying boxing is not fighting. People are saying that last week. What I'm saying
that's what I said to you last week.
Yeah. Mixed martial arts is a closer representation of what a true fight is. Mixed martial arts isn't really fighting. If we were going to fight in a parking lot, this is the great the cartoon character. What's his name?
What cartoon?
The guy, the MMA guy who does all the cartoon.
Tommy Toho.
It's just a great Tommy Toho quote where he was like, "The reason MMA is the best is because this is as close to 2 guys are in a field fighting somewhere. Fighting is 1 guy is no longer breathing. That's the fucking fight. That's it. You fight to the death. 1 guy could die, and that's why it's such a crazy sport and such a better sport. So MMA is the absolute closest thing to that.
Okay, we get that. Shut the fuck up. Let me get a word in edgeways. But Anthony Joshua, off on a tangent once again. Anthony Joshua, Zuffa boxing. It's not even a real thing yet. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. I don't have any inside info. I'm purely going off what has been in the headlines. Rumors saying that Dana is going to offer a $500 million deal to Anthony Joshua. Dad, what do you think about this? Because we were talking about this.
I don't think it's going to happen. Joshua's a boxer. He's British. Did he give his belts up?
Well, this is the thing. So if he came over to fight for, what is he talking about doing, Luce? Have you read the headlines? He's talking about coming over. There is some interesting fights. Maybe they did Francis Ngannou, they did Stipe Miocic, all these types of people.
Yeah.
Right? That'd be great, but that's not boxing. And Anthony Joshua is a boxer since he was a child. He was an Olympic gold medalist. You know,
My understanding is they're offering.
what's he going to do? Walk away from boxing?
I think they're offering it to him to be sort of one of the faces of Zuffa boxing. That's the way that I see the deal happening.
So therefore, he's going to fight other boxers.
I think he'll box. I think they can do more crossover stuff, more stuff like they did with Conor versus Mayweather. They could easily set up Stipe versus Joshua under the parameters that they want to set it up. Because you got to understand, everyone's going like, "Oh my God, $500 million! This is crazy." The UFC looked at Mayweather McGregor and they said, we could have made a lot more than $500 million there if we were in charge of this.
Yeah. But, well, probably you're right. Yeah,
it's a promotion. They go.
Am I blacking out the camera there with my feet up there?
No, I don't think so.
Is it probably not the most complimentary? I'll put my feet down.
But are Zuffa going to then sign the top 5 heavyweight boxers from the WBO, WBC, and make their own boxing circus?
I think so. I mean, it seems. Here's the thing. This
It's
is
going to
what
cost them billions.
Because the thing is, like, if it's, I mean, by the way, I'm just playing devil's advocate because I have no inside information. So if Dana's watching this, I apologize. I'm not trying to shit all over any plans. But one would assume that if he's going to pay Anthony Joshua, let's use that number, $500 million. If he did get a Deontay Wilder, he's going to want $500 million because that's just the way boxers are.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going to play second fiddle, and they're all champions.
Parker's going to want $500 million.
They're all going to want big money. And maybe there is that amount of money. You know, maybe there is. But then I think that has a knock-on effect into UFC because then UFC fighters say, hold on a minute, you're paying this motherfucker $500 million and I'm getting $125,000. Do you know what I'm saying?
A little insight into Michael Bisping said just now.
Nobody can say it starts becoming complicated waters that we're walking in, you know.
I think that there's a...
Or is he going to fight UFC fighters in boxing rules? Because if he's doing that, then he's going to step away from the sport of boxing, you know, completely. Because he wouldn't be fighting ranked people. Because you're going to fight the top ranked people. Otherwise, you're going to relinquish the belt. Like we were just talking about interim belts and things like that. In boxing, you're going to fight... See, it's different. In boxing, you have to fight the number one contenders, and the different promoters make...
Make the fight.
Yeah, they make offers to promote the fight.
Right.
If you're not fighting the top guys, if you're fighting guys on the UFC roster, then he would have to relinquish his belts in boxing. And I don't think somebody that's a boxing purist like Joshua would be willing to step away from everything that he's worked so hard for. But $500 million is a lot of money.
Yeah, it's all about money. The reason he's worked so hard for everything was to make money like $500 million.
But he's not poor now.
Yeah, not at all. But
Does he need that sort of money?
Yeah, we always.
No one
money.
turns down $500 million.
No, you don't.
I don't care if you've got 50 in the bank.
No,
you won't turn it down 500.
No, you don't turn it down, but do you give up a sport you love?
I don't think he's going to give it up. Here's my prediction, because this is literally all just us making assumptions.
Just pure speculation.
Pure speculation. My prediction is the UFC recognizes that the WBO, WBC, all these organizations are bullshit promotions. They don't do things the way that the UFC does things. The UFC builds brands, okay? And there's an opportunity in boxing to build a brand the same way the UFC has built a brand for mixed martial arts. There's no Coca-Cola of boxing. Boxing is a sport. What's the brand that is synonymous with like Coca-Cola that represents that sport? It doesn't exist, right?
No, absolutely.
So I think Zuffa recognizes that, and I think that the long play here is to sign the best boxers in the world, and they know they have to throw major money. But here's the thing, Anthony Joshua, you know, $500 million, we don't know the parameters of that contract. That could be over the course of 8 years, however many fights, right?
I've had 5 fights. 5 fights. But I'd also, are they going to just stick to the heavyweights? Or are they going to take all the top boxers, all the different weights?
Of course, but why couldn't
There's
they
a hell
come
of a lot
in?
of boxing weights.
Why couldn't they act as the WBO though, and come in with whatever the other champion is, and say we're promoting this, we're representing Anthony Joshua, we're and then whoever else have to co-promote.
It would have to be a very complicated contract as well. Because think about it, you go in and you commit to a $500 million contract with Anthony Joshua, but then he loses his first fight. He loses his first fight. You're fucked.
Oh man!
Right? But you can't do a feeder system. You can't give him shitty fights because right off the bat you want to start making a return on that investment and start making money. So I don't know. I mean, it's a catchy headline. It's very nice, but honestly, I mean, if anyone can do it, Dana and Zuffa can do it because they are the best promoters in the world.
Anthony Joshua says, this is his quote. He said, if it's good business, it makes sense. I'm out of the business, and I'm sure Eddie Hearn isn't in it to say, oh, Dana White, we're not interested in working with you when we don't know what's on the table. We'll listen, and 100% if it makes sense, we're all ears, man. So I'm happy that Dana's coming to the game. Hopefully he can add some excitement, and we can progress forward and make some good money and make some good fights. Yeah,
Eddie Hearn is a UK boxing promoter, obviously Anthony Joshua's promoter. I heard this week that he is pissed off that Dana's trying to sign Dana's trying to sign Anthony Joshua, and therefore he's going to make a move for Conor McGregor.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's what I heard through an anonymous source, but it's a pretty reliable piece of info.
Yeah.
Which of course you can't do because contracts are in place. But still, if they're going to try and steal Anthony Joshua, I heard he's going to retaliate by trying to get McGregor on side.
Also,
so
when there's that much money at
interesting.
stake, it's like I almost feel like those contracts are sort of aside because the doors get closed and people want to make a deal happen and there's hundreds of millions of dollars at stake, they kind of put it aside. You saw that happen with, nobody thought the Conor McGregor Mayweather fight, like when that first started coming out as like a rumor, it was like, yeah, it sounds great, but everyone said the same thing. It was like, yeah, but they have contracts. It's impossible. Dana White would never let that happen. Dana White said that. Dana White was like, no fucking way. He's under contract. That's just not happening.
Yeah.
They closed those doors. They talked about the money.
I'll ask you a question. Where would the fights take place? Vegas? Or would Joshua want to fight in the UK?
Probably UK, right? Boxing's bigger, I think,
right.
overseas.
So would the British Boxing Board of Control sanction a fight between a heavyweight boxing world champion and a UFC fighter who's zero? With no
well, of course they would, Dad, because they did it for Mayweather.
He's saying in England now.
I'm saying if they fought in
Yeah,
England,
but they would.
I don't think they would.
Of course they would.
There's some guy that'll take the $100,000 bribe on that committee. Trust me.
Yeah, hold on. What was your point again?
They would look at it as a mismatch.
If who was to fight who? Joshua was to fight.
Well, if
Let's say Stipe Miocic.
If Mayweather and McGregor had been fought in the UK, it would never have been sanctioned by the
Bullshit. No way, Dad. You're out of your mind.
My opinion.
Yeah, no. He's still a professional world champion combat sports athlete. He might not be a boxer, but he's still a combat sports athlete.
Well,
I think getting licensed wouldn't be an issue.
So that's like putting a rugby player into a football team.
Yeah, well, no, exactly, and that's what makes it so interesting. That's what was the appeal of McGregor Mayweather, weren't it? I still think, especially when there's lots of money to be made, like the athletic commissions. I don't know if they take a percentage, but they certainly get big fees.
They get it done. All I know is we haven't really seen it be that much of a problem. When they say like everything from the steroids thing to like those deals that aren't supposed to be able to make happen, they all get it done. So Brock Lesnar come in after being off for 2 years, be like, oh yeah, exemption. Why not?
Yeah, but Brock Lesnar's coming back, isn't he? I think from
what
I hear.
Yeah,
maybe.
Those are the rumors.
Know. They're just rumors.
We've all heard those rumors.
We've heard those rumors.
Not on this show. Elsewhere.
No. I heard. Yeah. It might be fighting someone else's band as well, but
Oh shit.
Maybe really tall black guy. I don't know. Maybe he's banned. I don't know who I'm referring to, but maybe he's fighting him.
Okay, so let's get back into Mattress Firm. Let's keep the ball rolling, shall we? Everyone knows how important stretching is before an event, and so does Mattress Firm. Except it's your dollar. Your budget stretches further when you're shopping at America's #1 mattress store. It's a true home run, and you will have a ball.
They're the head coaches when it comes to mattress expertise, but know this, they're more than just mattress experts. They have a game plan that helps you transform your mattress into a bed. From adjustable bases and sheets to headboards and bedroom decor, they have you literally and figuratively covered up like your favorite cornerback.
So go to mattressfirm.com/podcast and see what deals are happening right now as we read these sentences to you. They even offer you a 120-night sleep trial to ensure perfection and a 120-night low-price guarantee so you know you paid the perfect price.
Talk about a 1-2 punch. A knockout, if you will. Score big with the perfect bed. Head to mattressfirm.com/podcast to get the play-by-play on how you can monumentally improve your sleep today, tonight, and tomorrow.
Did you see that USADA cleared Josh Barnett?
I did. I don't really want to get into that too much, but we will a little bit because you brought it up. Because I know Josh and I respect Josh, but still, I do have a problem with this tainted supplement. Of course, Josh Barnett tested positive against Andrei Arlovsky about just over a year ago, and he claimed a tainted supplement, and it worked.
Yeah, it worked. It sort of sets the precedent.
He said the same tainted supplement as a different UFC fighter. It's the same thing. Tim Means, there you go. Tim Means tested positive for Ulsterine or whatever it's called, and Tim Means said there was a certain supplement that he was taking that had it in. Now, just playing devil's advocate, got to stop saying devil's advocate, but just playing devil's advocate, if you test positive, if you're going to take Ulsterine, and there's I don't even know if it's called Ulsterine, but I think it is, and you're going to get tested and you might test positive, you just have that in your back pocket the whole time, don't you? Well, I was taking that.
Yeah.
I was taking this product here. It's easy, Dad. It's the oldest trick in the book. It's bullshit.
So why not be required to give a list of supplements that you're taking?
You are. You want at the time when you saw to come and test, you have to tell them everything you were taking then and there. But when they turn up at my house at 6 o'clock in the morning and I'm half asleep and I can't be bothered with it, I always say I haven't been taking anything, and they say it's okay. You can tell us later. You can just say you forgot. So my point is that just gives them a way of getting around it. It's a loophole almost.
Well, it's a loophole that needs to be closed.
Well, no, it is. They should have to say, look, listen, you have to say right here, right now, everything you've been taking. Let's have a look in your cupboards as well. If you say you're taking it on that day,
let's see it.
Let's see it in your cupboard. Have you been taking it? Well, yeah, you know.
Oh, the tin is not opened.
The tin is not open. Anyway.
Yeah.
What do you want to ask my dad, Lewis? We've got my dad on here. We're searching for bullshit. I don't want to talk bad about Josh Barnett. God bless him. He's a great mixed martial artist. Whether or not he's tested positive 4 times.
Look, he's got to be able to beat one of them. I'm not even that impressed.
What do you want to ask my dad?
Well, Jan, look, we're happy to have you on the show.
There's no point in me asking him anything because I know all the answers.
That's the truth. Well, here's the thing. Look, it's not so much what I want to ask your dad. It's more, I think, what the fans would want to find out.
Well, go ahead.
Let's go back into history. Let's go back to young Michael Bisping, okay? Because he presents himself in a certain way on the show.
Bear in mind that this is, it is for public consumption. Yeah. Certain things remain private. Okay.
This isn't live. We can edit, so don't you worry. Don't you worry. If he says anything,
no,
that
I
crazy,
know, but still, but that's like, yeah, okay,
I know exactly
fuck
what
it.
you mean.
Let's get the beers out
Yeah,
and. Should we have a beer, Dad?
I would love a beer.
Should we have a beer?
I would love
All
a
right,
beer.
ask a question. Well, would you like a beer? In the fridge.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, let's have 4
Michael
beers.
Bisping, quitting drinking.
Yeah, I know. I am quitting drinking. I'm definitely cutting back. I did get drunk with my dad on Saturday night. Some brandy. I'm not a brandy drinker.
Yeah,
I am.
Yeah. I'm a big red wine guy. I don't even know the difference between brandy and red wine.
Yeah, no, brandy is it's like whiskey. It's a cognac.
Really?
I think so.
40%.
It's very strong.
Okay, so look, Michael Bisping, we all know him as the brash, loudmouth UFC fighter. Just when he was a kid, what did you think he was going to do with his life? What did you? Because I look at my son, right, and he's 5 years old. He could be anything in the world right now. Like, I have no idea, but you sort of develop a personality at this point, and you start to go down a certain path, interest in certain things. When Michael Bisping was 13 years old, where did you kind of see his life going in the path that he was going to?
I hoped he'd do well at school, go on to college, maybe university.
Even at 13, you still had hope.
Well, you hope that for you hope that for your children.
Yeah,
at 13.
of course. Yeah.
And then maybe become a lawyer or a brain surgeon. But that was not to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he wasn't good in school?
He was good at school.
Yeah.
He had a brain.
No, I was good at school.
He was very good at
I was a
school.
very, very capable student.
Yeah.
I wasn't. What's the word I'm looking for? I wasn't interested in school. This is what I have with my daughter right now.
Yeah.
Because she's not overly interested. God bless her, Ellie.
But it's also part of the school's job to get you interested. This is why public school kind of sucks. I'm literally going through it right now with my kid, who I'm putting him into kindergarten next year, and the difference between public and private school. Yeah, I got a letter, babe. That works. No, I don't actually. Sorry.
Yeah, no. So but I was obsessed with martial arts at those times. And
Yeah.
my dad used to take me down to Nottingham every Sunday and Wednesday night, and then I'd be tired on a Monday, tired on a Thursday. Wouldn't do my homework, and they'd be like, "Why haven't you done your homework?" I said,
By the time he was 13, I'd been told he had a future in the as a fighter. So
Okay, so that was sort of like that was the path. And was that something you were sort of afraid of for your kid?
no, I get asked this question a lot.
Yeah.
Well, how do you feel about your son being?
I'm
a
not
fighter?
very creative.
No. So yeah, we'd all like him to be a professional person.
All right.
But at the end of the day, if your son has done what he wants to do, or always wanted to do from a young age, and is successful, then I'm happy.
Yeah, dude, that's the dream.
Yeah.
That's literally a parent's dream. It's like
Yeah.
your kid. I try to. Me and my son's mother. She's a great woman. We broke up and we're co-parenting now, and we're trying to, make it work. And we're friendly. We're friends at this point. But it's something I always she never really appreciated. She never appreciated the fact that like I'm kind of doing what I want to do with my life, and I'm sort of like it's pretty incredible. Like as you know, dude. Not many people get to truly do what they want to do, and kind of showing him that as a lesson. Like, you can literally wake up one day and say, I want to do this, and go down that path and just make it happen. I think it's a super valuable lesson that not many parents get to really show their kid. And ultimately that's the dream for any kid. But what was the first time you saw him fight? Do you remember? Like a real fight, not like, I know you were doing it as a kid, but the first time you were like, oh shit, I'm watching him and he could actually get hurt. Do you remember?
I remember
Cage rage.
No, I was a grown man then, Dad. But I guess
Well, he said the first time I saw you.
No,
fight.
but remember I used to do the knockdown sport budos and stuff against grown men.
But you against grown men, but you always won.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Well, that's
Walk
what
away
he's
about a
saying.
scratch on you.
Well, you didn't have no fear. That's what he's saying. That wasn't the first time he's saying that he had actually like oh shit.
I'm
you might
worried
get your ass-
about you.
He worried was cage rage. What?
Yeah.
That was the
Mark the Beast Epstein.
Yeah, I knocked him out in the second round. So, oh god.
I wish Mark the Beast Epstein's dad would have worried about him that day.
Mark the Beast Epstein still claims to this day that he slipped. You know, which God bless Mark the Beast. You know, big up, maximum respect and all that. But I didn't see no fucking banana peel in the cage, so it's all good. But
so what was that like? So you're going, you know, this is like cage rage. Cage rage at the time.
That was later on in the career, though, because I started doing martial arts when I was super young, and then unfortunately I was always getting into a few brawls here and there. I remember, what was he called? The family member that came to the house. Was it Charles?
Charles.
Yeah, and it was my dad's like, listen, my cousin's coming up. Everyone on the best behaviour, you know. And all this, and I was up the castle, and I got into a fight with Johnny Pratt, and he headbutted me, and it opened up a cut on my eye. I had blood all down my face and everything. And I came back to I won the fight. I came back to the house, and I ran straight upstairs, and I'm like trying to hide because like this Charles, family members, is here. And then a knock on the door. Johnny Pratt's mum come knocking on the door, complaining, going crazy. It was like World War III at the door as we were trying to, portray this image of a nice, functional family. We had Johnny Pratt's mum on the door complaining.
This was a street fight.
Yeah, street fight.
Yeah,
this is a street fight. Somebody headbutted you in a street. That I've never been in a fight where anyone's bled, like a street fight where somebody's bleeding at my hand. I mean, I guess like a bloody nose or like a bloody lip or something.
come to the UK.
Yeah, it's crazy there, huh?
No,
I saw that movie Green Street Hooligans. I was like, I have a newfound respect for these fucking
The guy
Brits.
headbutted me. I was only a kid. I was only like 10 years old. The guy headbutted me.
Hell was the guy?
Yeah, about 11, 12, something like that.
Fucking headbutted you.
He
Believe that's
headbutted me,
crazy.
yeah.
I would be. So I remember I saw a fight in the 6th grade with 2 girls. These 2 black chicks, dude. Jennifer Hardy and whatever this other bitch's name was. I don't remember because I didn't have to remember because she got her ass beat. This girl beat her so down, and then she literally grabbed both of her earrings and pulled them out of her ears.
Oh.
And I was like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Yeah.
It affected me on another level. This is why I know I'm not meant to fight.
Well, listen,
like
you're
that.
sitting there, you're saying all that, and my dad's probably thinking, "Oh, bless him, what a sweetheart." You know, he's done 20 years in the army, right? Multiple tours, and seen a lot, and he's like, "Oh, bless him." He's impressed because there was a bit of blood. Why don't you ask my dad what the crazy shit he's seen is?
Well, so you were in the military for a long time.
Long time.
So it's like British military too. So you got like bayonets, you got like stab fucking insurgents. I don't know.
No, that's
Tea and
ceremonial.
crumpets.
Bayonets are ceremonial.
Okay, all right.
Unless you're a Gurkha.
He's trying to take the piss down.
I know he's taking the piss.
Yeah. He was a sniper for a while in the army.
So you've killed people. You've straight up shot people
I've
between the
shot
eyes.
people.
That's so terrifying and weird. Did it affect you? The first person you ever killed? Did that fuck with you at all?
No, the first time I was fucked was the first time I got shot at.
Whoa.
What was that, Dad?
That was in Northern Ireland, and there was an explosion.
What was the? Sorry, go on.
Yeah,
What
there
was
was
the
an explosion
circumstances?
within the city. We were the first people there.
What war was this?
This is Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland. Okay.
It wasn't a war. It was the
What war was this?
We-
Do you know what's going on outside of the country, Lewis?
Yeah,
There's
Google
a
the
big
troubles
world
in
out there.
Northern
There
Ireland.
it wasn't like a war zone. There wasn't like the fucking.
I don't know, man. I didn't realize that these have military with explosions and people needing snipers in Northern Ireland for the fuck of it. I assumed there was the War of Northern Ireland in England of 1975, which I never heard about.
How would you describe it? That it wasn't like a war as such. It was like it was kind of like
It
in
was
some
sectarian.
ways.
It was sectarian between Roman Catholics and the Protestants.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of politics into it, which I will never go into.
Right.
But they were fighting each other.
And you supported one side.
No, we were sent in to keep them apart.
Really?
And then one side turned on us.
The IRA.
IRA, the Roman Catholic side, turned on us. And this particular night, there was an explosion. I was in a Land Rover. There's 4 of us. We were the first ones there. This bank had just gone, demolished.
Yeah.
And there was a church opposite with a wall about 3 foot high. And we all got out and thought, fuck me, they've done a good job in this bank.
Yeah.
And suddenly about 10 gunmen open up at us. And one lad got shot in the arse.
Yeah.
Another one got shot in the foot. And he did the fastest 100-metre sprint he'd ever done in his life.
Even though he'd been shot in the foot.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And I just stood there and froze.
Yeah.
And after
Fight, flight, or freeze, right? That's real.
I froze.
You froze, Dad. You got to sex it up a bit, okay?
I froze.
You're on my fucking podcast.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
did it. What you did was you pulled out your machine gun.
No. The second time I dived
Let's
into
go,
cover,
motherfuckers. No. My dad froze.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm terrified.
First time you're under fire. You know?
Dad, come
the second
on.
time you take cover,
Right.
and then the third time I thought, oh, here we go again.
Yeah,
Take
yeah.
cover and start shooting back.
So, but you're there. The firing just starts coming out of nowhere,
From
right?
across the road.
Well, you saw them. You saw the guys.
Yeah, we see the flashes.
You knew exactly where they were coming
Yeah.
from. Is there a moment where do you think at all I'm going to die, or is it just all adrenaline?
At 18, 19, 20, you never think you're going to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you think the bullets are going to swerve around you like the Matrix.
Wow.
Yeah.
We were talking the other day, Dad, and I think it's interesting for people to hear. And the reason I mentioned it is because I got messages saying, ask your dad about when he was a sniper in the army, and you said you didn't want to talk about it too much for obvious reasons, and I respect that. But talk about the training of it, because you was telling me the other day on the couch, you know, to become a sniper, obviously, what were you saying the hardest part is?
Is it anything like the Kingsman training? Because I watched Kingsman on the flight over
nothing
here.
like it. Nothing
Incredible.
like it. No.
Solid.
All right, the hardest part of becoming a sniper is getting from A to B, firing the shot, and then getting back. And the test is...
You can't be seen.
You can't
obviously.
be seen.
Okay, so
It's not sitting on a mountaintop firing at 1,000 metres, you know,
Yeah.
and hitting someone, you know.
so it's actually getting to the place where you're going to shoot from,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
not getting killed in the
Yeah, but
process.
tell them about that with the camouflage and everything.
Right, so what happens is they take you out in the countryside, and there'll be a little hillock, and the instructors will be stood on
hillock?
it. Yeah, a small hill. Small hill.
A pillock.
Yeah, a pillar, yeah. They'll be stood on there with binoculars. And you've got to maybe cover 500 metres to get to within 50 metres of them to fire a shot at them,
Right.
a blank round. And there's people walking around in the area that you're manoeuvring through. They're just there. They know you're there, but they're not going to say you're there. And you're changing the camouflage as the undergrowth changes colour, you know, from green to brown to, you know, and back to green. And you get to within the 25 metres, and you fire this one round, you know, and you've got 4 instructors with these really strong field glasses, looking for you. And if they can make you out, you failed, and you failed the whole course.
And what do you do? What do they send you? You have
Send
to,
you back to your regiment as
Well,
a
then
normal.
you lose, Lewis.
Yeah, as a
It's
normal
as
soldier.
simple as that.
Yeah. You can't become a qualified sniper.
Yeah, and
And then they'll say to these walkers that are walking around, go and stand within 5 metres of him. And they'll look for you, because they know you're within 5 metres of this.
Wow.
And if they see you, you failed.
then
they'll
see,
say,
camouflage is going to be
yeah,
top notch.
perfect.
Yeah.
Then it's stand next to him. And if they see you, you failed. Then it's touch him. Now, touch him can be anywhere from your heel, if you're lying flat, to the tip of your rifle. And if they can make you out, you
Oh,
failed.
and they're right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy, isn't it?
That is crazy.
And obviously the practicality of that in real scenarios that you don't want to get spotted and you want to pick people off.
Your one man may be against... Your one man who's got to take out one target, but that one target might be surrounded by 200 men.
Yeah.
You know, and if you get seen, you ain't going to survive.
Is it because
Go on,
Oh, no,
sorry.
it's so interesting, like the job of the sniper, because it's like you have a very different mission and a very different task than everybody else. Like they send you somewhere. There's a specific person you're trying to take out.
Yeah,
most of the time,
one target.
every single time. It's not like get in that tower and take out as many targets as possible. You have a specific guy.
one target.
And it's usually somebody powerful or somebody that.
There's someone that's wanted.
That's
Seriously
crazy.
wanted.
Yeah.
A commander.
And you got that little black book. I don't.
Yeah, I've got the little green book.
When we were kids, you showed us a little green book with all these names.
Well, I didn't show it to
You
you. You
didn't-
found it. Rooting through my drawers.
Yeah, that's right. And he's got all these names, and some of them have ticks, and some of them have question marks. I'm
Some
like,
have crosses.
So the ticks they live.
I don't know. The ticks are, I know I hit them.
You know you hit them.
Yeah,
The question mark you don't know.
I'm not sure.
And
And
then
the
a cross
crosses,
is.
I missed.
Oh, you missed. I thought
Yeah.
the cross means they're dead.
No,
the ticks is the dead.
Okay,
that was
I
a
got it.
success.
Tick is
Check.
successful.
Oh, okay, I got it. I thought it was like a cross,
Yeah.
like
No.
a Catholic cross. That is. I mean, you almost have to.
And you were talking the other day about how long you have to camp out and you have to piss and shit.
Yeah,
and,
piss and shit in, you know, in
be
plastic
there for like
bags.
3 days at a time, hiding out.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, maybe just waiting for that target to appear. And he might not appear.
Is there anything enjoyable about it, or is because you had to do that? You have to. I almost feel like in America, and the perception of it in America, a lot of the time is that we go after young kids because they don't really know any better. They go into poor neighborhoods and they look to militarize, to offer them sort of a way out of these poor neighborhoods, and you almost sort of like feel bad for the military here. Anyway, I think that's the consensus with young people. Anyway, when you think back to kind of that experience. Do you think of it as if you have to draw a line in either an amazing experience or something that was really positive and good for you, or something that was kind of like nightmarish or bad? How would you kind of put it on that?
Everybody reacts differently.
Yeah.
I mean, if you enjoy it, then you want to do it. You can say at any time, I don't want to, I don't particularly want to do this job.
Yeah.
It's getting to me a bit. It's like a parachutist. If you're a military parachutist doing free fall. And you meant to pull the ripcord at 5,000 feet. And you think, that's that was good. And the next time you jump, you pull it at 4,000, then 3,000. They will know what height you're putting it at, and they'll stop you. They'll take your license to jump away.
Really? Because they think because
you're getting that. Just all you want is the adrenaline.
The adrenaline. Wow.
To open lower and lower and lower. And one day,
that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. I guess you'd have to sort of get used to the adrenaline. You'd have to sort of get used to the life, the training. I have friends who are in the military. I have friends who are cops, and in New York City, the training for cops are pretty intense. And I think that's a part of it is you sort of get addicted to either the danger. Or there's an element to it that has to be enjoyable.
Well. I was born in an army base in Cyprus. A lot of people like to talk shit and say I'm not English. I am English. It was British soil.
A sovereign base area.
Yeah, there you go. Conrad, my older brother, he was in the army and he had a pickaxe stuck in his head.
Yeah.
Adam, my older brother, my younger brother, pardon me, he's in the army as well.
Yeah,
he's a geothermal technician, is he?
Geotechnician.
Yeah, so he's smart. He got a degree through the army, and he's serving right now in Holland. What he does, he uses satellite images to prepare the ground troops of what kind of terrain they're going to expect and things like that, and he draws up maps for them. So, I guess we've been a military family. Yeah. But how do you see it now, because in America, it's very different. In America, you guys, and rightly so, have a lot of respect for the troops and a lot of programs for afterwards and this and that, and you drive through the town down there, Yorba Linda, and they have all pictures of everyone that served and unfortunately fallen soldiers. They honour them and this and that. It's not really the same in the UK, is it, Dad, or is it?
There's not a lot.
I mean, don't get me wrong. We respect everybody, and of course we respect everyone that lose. Unfortunately, that passes away. But there's not much emphasis on. I don't know.
I know what you're saying.
It's a little different.
Up until a few years ago, there was very little done for ex-servicemen.
Right.
It was you've done your time, you've left either voluntarily or. Comrade for example.
Like you. I mean, you did what, 17 years?
Yeah.
17 years in the army, and then you came out, and then you've gone from being active soldier, travelling all over the world, to, boom, there you go, being a sniper on your own. Yeah. I mean, how was that?
I'll tell you what it's like. There was one time when I didn't have a lot. I'd left the army. I was living on my own, and there's an organisation called SAFA, which is meant to look after ex-servicemen. So I phoned them up in the northwest of England, the headquarters. And they said, oh, yes, your local SAFA rep is so-and-so. This is his phone number. Ring him, and he'll help you. So I thought, well, sod the pride. I made the phone call. This woman answered. I asked for this husband, obviously. Oh, he's been dead 3 years.
Oh, wow. Jesus.
3 years?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's how often they were trying to help us.
Yeah, exactly. That's how little they get called. Yeah. Oh, we didn't know. Sorry about that. Oh, yeah, he's dead.
Yeah. But now, I'm not a great royalist, but Prince Harry is doing a hell of a lot for ex-servicemen.
Oh, that's good.
With the Invicta Games.
Yeah.
And I think that's becoming international. So it's raising awareness of the plight that
I think it's sort of built into our culture. Like, it's almost like, very much... wave the American flag, America, fuck yeah, support the troops. It's really built into our culture that, even people that don't support the wars.
There's no benefits. In America, if you get in our flight, serving personnel get priority,
boarding.
Priority boarding, that's the word.
Course.
In the UK, there's absolutely zero.
There's none of that. There's none of that
at all. no benefits of being a serving member or a veteran.
I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a couple things. Number one, you don't even have to be a military guy. If you just go to the people at the airport, I did this. It's on my Instagram. Just tell them you got a knee injury. They'll drive you right to your gate.
Oh, yes, yeah.
They'll walk you right onto that
But
plane.
they do that for anybody if you ask for assistance.
Of course, you've got to be smarter than the people that work
Brady
at the airport.
Fink, my jiu-jitsu coach, he got given like one of those backpacks, like an army issue backpack, so it looks to business. You know,
Nice.
army issue. It was given to him by a friend. He walked onto a plane. He walked onto a plane. Oh,
Upgrade.
thank you for your service. Upgraded him to first class.
Oh, no, they didn't.
I swear to God, because he landed.
Can you get me one for my journey back?
He flew from America to Australia, but he came in 2 days afterwards. And he came and met up with us at the hotel. I said, "How was the flight, Brady?" He said, "Oh, it was fucking awesome."
I met Brady. We met Brady in New York.
I had a bed. I said, "Bullshit." No, you did. He said, "Dog." That's how we talk. Dog, I'm telling you, man. Fucking first class. I had a bed because I had a military backpack, and now we just fly without it. So get a military.
And
backpack.
I want one.
I had no problem with it. Some people look at that and they go, "Oh, it's fucked up." Like, dude, take advantage. Take advantage of in whatever way you can in the world. I feel like it's our job.
100%.
Take advantage of that fucking gray area. But that's specifically the thing. They ask you if you need any extra time or assistance getting onto a plane. They're not even allowed to ask you why. If you just go up to them and be like, "Oh yeah, I need extra assistance getting."
Well,
onto
you
the
got.
plane."
I got it.
You got cartwheel through the air.
Yeah.
Through
I can't walk
the
great
airport.
distances.
Yeah,
And, a lot of airports, especially the major international ones, there's a lot of walking to do.
it's a mile. It's crazy.
Yeah, so I just say I need assistance.
Fuck yeah.
And they push me through to the gate.
That's why we're going to Disneyland at the weekend, Dad. You don't even fucking know this. We're going straight to the front of every line. That pisses me off at Disneyland. Have you been to Disneyland?
When they let people in
The
like
queue of
wheelchairs.
disabled
listen,
is
if you've
longer
got a-
than the queue for able-bodied.
If you've got a serious injury and you need it, then great. But what I see at Disneyland is a lot of very, very overweight people that are milking the system, that are sitting there with a cheeseburger and a milkshake,
Yeah.
in a
Milkshaking
wheelchair,
the system.
and then they go straight to the front, and then they get up, and then they walk into the ride, and I'm like,
I don't
motherfucker,
consider being overweight a disability.
Yeah.
Just a
Your
greedy
girlfriend
cunt.
used to rent the wheelchairs just to get to the front.
Oh, smart.
Scumbags.
Yeah, there's garbage people.
You're the people I'm talking about.
I like it. I appreciate it. It turns me on.
Yeah, no, it pisses me off because
Yeah,
I'll
I
be
like
there.
it.
Listen, it's hot here, okay? The middle of summer, 100 degrees. I've got little kids. We're waiting in line, right? We're burning. We're miserable.
Think
spending
about
a fortune
this,
on
though.
fucking drinks. And then you get the
Can I-
fat bastards that don't want to walk. Wheeling electric wheelchair.
And once
at
they're
that.
in,
They
once
won't even
they're
do
in.
this. They won't
That's
even
it.
do that. To the front, and then they waddle off to the ride, and they waddle off to. And listen, and if
I'm
you're
sitting
over-
in a beautiful, some people would describe this as a half a mansion. You've had an amazing career. You're in great shape. You got a healthy father who's here. You're able to fly him in from England. You have one of the greatest lives in the world. Lived your dream. Your father said he gets to live his dream, watching you get to live your dream. These poor fat Midwesterners who have nothing. The only thing they have is at one point they go, "You know what, Earl, that's a great idea. We can get to the head of the line." That is them winning the UFC championship once in their life. Let them have it.
I can't do it, Lewis. I can't do it. My kids, their involvement, their enjoyment is more important to me. So,
Of course.
Listen.
All right, guys, real quick, let's talk about one of our incredible sponsors, which is Just for Men. They're so great to the show. You guys got to understand, Just for Men really hooks it up when it comes to male hair and beard products. And you should know, for an enviable beard and healthy feeling skin underneath, you need to opt for beard care from Just for Men, the #1 beard experts.
Soften up, smooth out, beard on. With 25 years of men's facial hair expertise, Just for Men knows beards. And they've got a full line of supremely fine products to prove it, including face and beard wash, beard conditioner, beard oil, and beard balm. The face and beard wash helps prevent beard itch, unclogs pores, calms and moisturizes, and deeply conditions. Meanwhile, the beard oil is light and non-greasy and smooths and softens without clogging pores. The beard conditioner deeply conditions while calming and moisturizing skin underneath.
Oh, and also the Beard Balm offers a superior hydration, fights itch and dry flaky skin, and helps prevent ingrown hairs. They all use soothing oatmeal, aloe, chamomile, and jojoba oils. So kiss your average beard goodbye and usher in your softest, smoothest, bestest beard and skin underneath.
Put your best beard forward. Visit jfmbestbeard.com, as in just for men bestbeard.com. Visit jfmbestbeard.com. Use the promo code bestbeard25 and you will get 25% off your purchase. Lewis, Gotta love that jojoba oil.
Love. It's literally my favorite type of
Anything
oil.
with jojoba oil in, I am gonna use.
Yeah, and it's a great lube. Let's not get into
fantastic.
it. Let's get back into the show. We're gonna wrap up here in a second. I want to get some questions because her phone's gonna die in a second.
Fuck the
Well, the
phone.
video. Look, if the video goes, the video
The
goes.
video goes.
Fuck
We're
it.
just getting settled in. We're just getting, unless you got somewhere to be.
No, I don't know where to be, bro.
We're on our first beer. I got a few more in the fridge. We're going nowhere.
Let's get into it.
Just getting into this.
I love it. Hey, man, I don't know.
All right, go on. Question then. Ask my dad a question. I'll ask
Okay.
me a question.
Why not? Can you stop strong arming me into interviewing you guys? Just let it'll have. I promise.
I'll
I'll come
strong
up
arm
with-
you in a minute.
He's like, ask me a fucking question, mate. Michael was gonna get a few beers in him.
Your buddy did a pretty good English accent last night.
Oh, Big J?
Big J.
Yeah, dude, Big J is.
Wasn't bad.
He's so funny, dude. He's one of the. If you guys haven't had a chance to go see him, Big J Ogerson, he's my brother. We do a podcast together, but he's
It was funny last
legitimately-
night because obviously I was there in the crowd, and he mentioned we got a UFC fighter in the house and blah 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 blah. It was a little embarrassing. I hate it when people do that, but still, it's nice. But still, what he said was he was talking about how women slowly but surely over time have emasculated them. Is
Yeah.
that the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, emasculated men.
Emasculate them slowly but surely. And he said, how did he say
There
it?
was they were talking about a few UFC fighters that have been in court.
Oh,
for-
that's
for-
right, that's right.
for
No.
Spousal abuse.
Yeah, no, they were talking about UFC fighters. And he said, you don't notice it, but women slowly but surely emasculate you bit by bit by bit. And he said, oh my, and his girlfriend was saying, oh my God, I could never be with a UFC fighter.
I could
And
just be with a guy that could beat the shit out of
I
me.
couldn't just be with a guy that could just beat the shit out of me at any time. And he's like, what? You don't think I could beat the fuck out of you at any time, at any given notice? I thought it was funny. You had to
But
be
he's
there.
like, there's no way to prove it. He was like, I can't just stretch her out one day in the
Yeah,
parking lot. To be
exactly.
like, yeah, you want to go?
I'll be right back.
There you go. And he's gone, guys. And he is gone. It's all good, man. But yeah, it's so funny. Did you enjoy the show last night?
I really enjoyed it. It was my first comedy show ever.
Ever in your life?
Yeah, ever in my life.
That's funny because there's such a difference, or that's an old battle in the world is
I mean,
like
some
British
good comedians
comedy.
in the UK.
Of course there
but
are.
they do the big arenas.
Of course.
But you got to sit there tight and
Yeah.
and it's not enjoyable.
Yeah, they have. I guess they have a few clubs. We're gonna go out there eventually. Me and Mike have talked about doing, live Believe You Me podcasts and maybe setting up a couple stand-up shows. But it's definitely a different type of comedy, and I think that the differences between British comedy and American comedy, so to say, sort of fall at the wayside when you're live there in person, because the rumor about American comedians, I hear this from British people a lot, or that we don't understand sarcasm, we're too literal, and British comedians are always so sarcastic and blah, blah, blah. But how do you compare American comedy to the British comedy you've seen? Because that was your first experience with it.
I laughed my ass off last
Yeah.
night. So, all I can say, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a pretty great time. I appreciate you coming. It's a little weird too because everyone's so dirty as well, and it's like it's a psychological thing because I'm friends with Mike. What did you just piss your pants? What is that? The chair was wet. That's what's going on for the people. The show, Big J specifically is so dirty. He's like filthy. It's a weird thing because psychologically, I'm friends with Mike. We talked about this before. We were inside. You're still his dad, so no matter how old we get, it still is a weird thing. Like I almost want to edit myself and censor myself because I'm like, I don't want you to fucking.
Yeah, as we walked in last night, first thing you said was, "Oh, we're going to get pretty dirty on the show." And I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm not bothered. And then we're sitting there, and you're going on. I'm like, yeah, it's a bit weird because I was sat next to my dad, and you are talking about like, I don't know, whatever.
Well, I was
you're
more
talking
embarrassed
about.
for the women that were there.
Yeah.
Well, she said the worst stuff. A woman said the worst.
Yeah.
Which I'll say something, and don't be offended by this. I generally don't find. And you were very funny last night. That's where I'm going with this. I generally don't find women comedians that funny. It's not because I'm a sexist pig, right? I just don't. But you were very funny last night. Generally, I find them a little annoying. I feel like But is it?
Yeah, you know what I think it is? I think a man has a more difficult time connecting with a woman's perspective. And when women are talking about what's funny to them, like what's really funny to them at their core, a man's like, I don't know.
They're always talking shit about men.
Yeah.
They're always saying, "Oh my God, this guy," and talking about penises and this.
And
And
even that, but think about that,
So
right?
That's called penis envy.
Yeah, that is
They
true.
all want one.
I don't know about that.
I like Jan being here because he.
Certain people are chopping them off these days, Dad.
Yeah.
They don't need them. They're tucking them in.
Let's not go there.
Yeah, but no, I think that men have a difficult time connecting with the perspective of a woman. So you kind of almost like shut it down in a weird way. When women are complaining about something, it's like I think we just hear it and we go like, okay, cool. We're kind of rolling our eyes, and I think women almost hear the same thing when men are complaining, but I think it's a matter of it's conditioning. I mean, men have been doing comedy on TV for so much longer. You see, 4 out of 5 comics in a comedy club are going to be a dude. So I think we're just sort of conditioned to it when most of the crowd, 90% of the crowd is men. So everyone's really laughing at that type of stuff. But I think it's also changed now because I think people, and you see the same thing in MMA and sports, people are now, in 2018, people are rooting for women. They really are. Like, there's a thing in the air where it's like, fuck yeah, you're a chick. You could do anything. You do better than a man. And since I was a kid, I'm 36 years old. Since I was a kid, I feel like that was something that I've been being told. Like, yeah, women are as good as men. This isn't necessarily a new thing, but I think it's taken a long time for public perception to change.
So you believe in equality between the sexes?
No, not necessarily.
Go on, Dad.
I think we should give them
Follow up with
85
your
cents
point.
on the dollar, not 77.
I know what he's going to
That's a
say.
little bit too
I know
much.
what he's going to say because he's my dad and I've heard this before.
What are you going to say?
Go ahead, Dad. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, if women want equality to be equal to men, then
What do you mean if they want? They are all
they're
equal to
demanding
me.
it. So let's stop the man and women argument and just have everybody compete against each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when it comes to the Olympics, how many women could say, I was in that last Olympics? Probably zero. But
Oh, come on.
We'll crush you. Are you kidding me?
You need a microphone.
Please. Yeah.
it's like in tennis, right? In the Grand Slams in tennis, the
Yeah.
American, the US.
I apologize. I apologize.
He's off on a tangent now. It's over.
No. Women want the same prize money as men.
Right.
Slight problem. Men play best of 5 sets.
Yeah.
Women play best of 3.
They should get 3/5 of the money, period.
True.
Fact. I'm sorry, that's
Probably
it.
do.
Yeah. Their argument is, we can play best of 5. But it'd be so fucking boring to watch the 4th and 5th set.
Yeah. Okay.
No, don't cut him off. We're having a good time. You can go take another pee. We're having a good talk right now.
Yeah. No,
okay.
but still, Dad, in this day and age, no one wants to watch it. Jesus Christ.
I mean, no. Look, he is sort of making a point here. It's like
What he's saying is, and it's you're saying in certain sports women can't compete with men, which they can't because the physical demands of that sport.
The only sport
are greater.
they did this study recently. The only sport that women compete at a higher level, they actually perform better at it is
Curling.
gymnastics.
Gymnastics, really?
They perform better at it. Their bodies
Really?
are more like
They're more
So I find that surprising
they're
because
not as strong.
yeah, but they're
but
I
they're
think
lighter.
They're lighter. Their bodies are more
No,
designed
because,
for it.
Gymnastics, you've got to be incredibly explosive and powerful for that. So that does actually surprise me. I believe what you're
it's like
saying.
It's like when you watch the swimming in the Olympics
Yeah.
and the 1,500 metres, and there's 8 people competing in one of the first round heats, and 7 have finished. And the poor little swimmer from Outer Mongolia, who's qualified for his country.
Why is he going to be from Outer
has
Mongolia?
still got half the race to go.
Yeah, of course.
And he's holding everybody up.
Right, and are we going to give him a gold medal and be like, look, everyone's got a gold medal
Just
today?
He's from Outer Mongolia. The fact that he made it here, I'm surprised.
Wherever. It's just so he can say, I competed in the Olympics.
Right.
I
agree.
All right. We got any questions?
I'll
Segue out of that one.
I'm trying to get into the questions, but did they change the fucking password on it? Hold on, let me see.
That's good.
Harrington usually gives me he emails me the questions now.
He does.
We
I
got it
see.
all set up. I don't have to do as much work anymore.
Yeah.
I have how uncomfortable Mike's getting too. He's like, as soon as you get comfortable and start really
Well, no, he
talking,
starts going on about, Yeah.
don't even
Mongolian women.
Don't even get us started on the Mongolian women.
I could have said other countries, but I was trying to be a little bit.
Well, why have you got to throw Mongolia under the bus?
There's not many of them.
Yeah,
Russia.
yeah. Nobody's coming after him from
Mongols.
Mongolia.
Khabib's people.
Yeah.
They're not far away.
All right, let me get these questions here. Chat up for a second. I got to get this password working. Give it a
I'm
second.
baking in this sun. It's
getting hot,
pretty
isn't
hot.
it?
It's
Yeah.
pretty hot.
Jan's live. All right, guys, we had to take a quick little break. We thought we lost the whole podcast, but we didn't. So everyone's happy now. Everything's going really well. We are going to officially end the show with some questions, as always. So a couple things real quick. Number one, if you're a fan of the show and you want to support the show, you can do so a few ways. Number one, obviously, you guys can tell some friends about it. Go into iTunes, leave us a 5-star ranking, positive review, all that good stuff. But the real fans, the hardcore fans, what they do is they support us by subscribing at gasdigitalnetwork.com. You will know the latest 10 episodes are available on iTunes. You know we throw the latest video version up on YouTube. Every single episode that we've ever done, the entire complete library of Believe You Me episodes are available at gasdigitalnetwork.com. You get them early. You get the video version a day before it goes to iTunes. You get ad-free episodes. I know a lot of people hate listening to us yammer on and on with the ads.
Listen to you yammer on, yeah.
Yeah, it's really me, just me. So if you guys subscribe, the promo code is BYM. You get a 14-day free trial, and the website is gasdigitalnetwork.com. Check it out. See if you like it. There's 17 amazing shows on the network. I know you guys will love it. All right.
Question 1.
And if you guys want to join the conversation with the questions, shoot us an email at bym@gasdigitalnetwork.com. BYM for Believe You Me, gasdigitalnetwork.com. We always answer a few questions at the end of the show, so here it is. All right, this is Vikas, who has emailed us before from Bangalore. Hi, fellows. Is it difficult as a mixed martial artist to box only and restrain all forms of attacks? This is obviously for you. So let's say you were to box professionally or even sparring or whatever. Do you ever find yourself like, whether it's accidentally or instinctually throwing a kick or...
Yeah, no. So this was a big thing, obviously, when McGregor was going to fight Mayweather. Everybody was talking about how if it wasn't going his way, he could just kick him in the head or take him down, potentially get disqualified, but still save himself from getting knocked out. And I didn't see an issue with that going into the fight because, as a fighter myself, obviously, a lot of the time we'll just box or we'll do jiu-jitsu or we'll just wrestle or whatever. That doesn't mean we're complete fucking morons and then all of a sudden, well, I do MMA, so I'm going to knee you in the face when we're wrestling or I'm going to armbar you or kick you when we're boxing. We're not morons. We're not idiots.
You also have a lot of control of your body. You're professional athletes.
Exactly. Now and again, of course, sometimes instinct takes over. And what I mean by that is there has been a few occasions, only very few, where I've been boxing against an opponent and, it's the perfect range for a kick, and maybe I slightly bring my leg up, and I go, and we all have a laugh, But sometimes maybe that's just drilling. I'm drilling, I wasn't actually trying to kick the guy.
Right.
So sometimes, instincts and reflex does kind of kick in. But generally, it's not a problem. Just like I said, if you're doing jiu-jitsu, you're not going to start elbowing the guy in the face. If you're doing... boxing, you're not going to kick the guy, and so on and so forth. So, no, it's not really an issue.
Maybe in a combat situation, it's probably a little different, right?
In a real-life scenario situation, of course, you're doing whatever you can to survive.
Yeah.
You're doing whatever it takes. In a mixed martial arts contest, of course, you've got all those rules on the street. You can do whatever you want. If you're boxing, unless you're an idiot, you're just going to box. Unless you have absolute blatant disregard for your opponent, for the gym, for the coaches, for where you are. Because, if you do that, let's say you go to a gym for the first time and they say you're just boxing, but they know you're a kickboxer and you start kicking the guy, you're going to get thrown out of the gym.
Right.
You're not going to be welcome there again. It's going to be disrespectful. It's going to be, many, many negative things they could say about you. And you might get your ass kicked as well, Because typically when you go to a gym for the first time, They try and put it on you. Every time I've been to a gym for the first time, like I went to Sandygate Boxing Gym in Burnley years ago, and the first time I walked in there, I'm talking, it was like 2001 or something, and I walked in and I wanted to start boxing, and I did, and I had a couple of amateur fights prior to getting into mixed martial arts. But I stepped into the ring, and the pros that they had straight away put it on me. And it was like a fight. It was literally like a fight because they were trying to knock me out. And I've had it time and time again. When I joined Ray Training Centre, Mark Munoz's gym, I went in there and they tried putting it on me. They weren't successful, but they tried putting it on me. God bless him.
Tried but failed.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of this is the only thing I can kind of compare it to, and we do see this in MMA. Every once in a while, you'll see a guy let adrenaline get the best of him and he'll do something illegal, like knee a downed opponent, I don't think it's on purpose. I think, his body takes over and the instincts kick in. You're competing and you're trying to hurt that guy, and, you're not necessarily going like, or his fingers on the ground.
Well, that goes back to what we were talking about with that guy before that did the front flip off the guy's back.
Yeah.
Because according to what he says now, he might just be saying the right thing for the sake of saying the right thing as a PR move. But it seemed pretty genuine, the words that he was saying. He was just caught up in the moment, and he did his usual celebration. Okay, this time he did it off a dead guy's back. A little different. But, things happen in the heat of the moment. If you're getting your fucking arse kicked, right, you'll do whatever it takes to survive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
If you're having a bad day, I always point that out about people in general. If you want to know who a person truly is, talk to them when they're angry.
Absolutely.
You'll get a real
or under pressure.
Yeah, under real pressure, they're stressed out. They're and this one, I'm a bad person. If you ever see me when I'm under pressure or angry, running late, having to wait in line for something, I'm a piece of shit. So that's who I am at my core. This is a fake version of who I am, but that version is the real one.
No, I disagree with that because I have the same problem as I know you do, Dad. You know, I mean, tempers get the best of everybody, but I don't feel that that's the true version of yourself. When I'm cool, calm, and collected, no one's bothering me, no one's making my day hard, no one's being frustrated, no one's fucking making me late, no one's doing things to generally annoy me, no one's doing things to annoy me, then I won't act like an asshole.
Yeah, but that's the point. Is everyone is fucking super cool, calm, and cool, collected.
We've all got the ability to be an arsehole.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But I think it's how you deal with that pressure, how you deal with the adversity. And I deal with like an asshole. I'm being a little self-aware here. I'm saying I deal with pressure and adversity like an asshole.
I saw something on Instagram recently. I'm looking for it now. It was a great quote. Let me find. You know all these people that put all these preachy quotes on Instagram or whatever. I'm not really a guy that goes in for all of that. I don't do that. But I saw this one, and it was great. And he says, a saint was asked, what is anger? And he gave a beautiful answer. It is punishment we give to ourselves for somebody else's mistake. Which I thought that was very good.
That is a good quote.
What is anger? A punishment we give to ourselves for someone else's mistake.
That's
there
interesting.
You go.
And
There's
it's also a way.
And that is actually a philosophy that I've modeled my life on. And that's a quote of my own. That is Michael Bisping.
You read this 3 days ago.
Yeah. No, I've literally got the picture on my phone. I took a picture of it. But, yeah, there you go. That's how I like to live my life, Lewis. You know, cool, calm, and collected.
But when you look at it that way as punishing yourself for, you know, because that's what it is, and maybe you know, if you actually look at it from that perspective, maybe it's a little bit easier way to control the temper, because that's my problem is when I'm angry, I get into a black hole, and I see red. There's nothing that will stop me from I don't care who's around. I shouldn't say that, because I never lose my temper in front of my son.
Yeah.
I really control it in front of my son specifically, so I know I have the ability to, but...
I control it to a certain degree. I'm still mad inside, but I'm just not letting it be visible.
Yeah.
I walk around the corner.
Just quietly.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Punch holes in the wall.
Yeah. Oh, that's it, dude.
I used to come back and, hey, what's up? How you doing?
Shit, that wasn't plasterboard. That was brick.
Yeah, so...
I'm the same dude. You know me tell you, my knuckles are all fucked up. I'm that shithead. I'm the guy who punches a hole in my wall. I used to have a bit about it in my act, but we always look for like the cheapest, thinnest closet in the house.
So you look badass.
You never.
It's like on the Ultimate Fighter back in the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Rampage used to rip some doors off and tear them up with his bare hands. They're like, oh my god! and I put my foot through a few of those doors as well. In fact, I saw Rampage do it. I thought, I'm doing that. Next time I coach the Ultimate Fighter, I'm kicking
these
those
paper
doors.
mache doors.
They're just like cardboard inside. You know what I mean? So it makes you look tough.
Looks like a
All
monster.
right, next question.
All right, here it is, guys. Next question. Hi, Mike and Lewis. Love the show. Keep up the great work. I'm a massive Bisping fan and had to stop feeding my newborn baby and ran around the house screaming when he knocked out Cockhold.
Thank you very much.
I'm sure his child is not going to thank you for that later in life, but that's okay. My question is to both of you. Have you ever met one of your heroes and been disappointed with the real thing? I ask this because I once queued to meet Mike at Event City in Manchester, and not only did he turn up late, but also still smelling of alcohol from the night before. I could literally smell the alcohol on his breath, but it was worth the signed picture.
What's the guy's name?
Ash.
Get a grip, Ash. So what?
It's a fun time.
Are you a fan of me because I abstain from alcohol, or because I'm a real dude and I put on fun fights?
You goddamn
Which
right.
is it?
You
know,
goddamn
did I sign things? Was I polite? Was I respectful? Did I make you laugh? Did I do all these things? I'm pretty sure the answer is yes.
In spite of you being hungover from the night before.
Yeah, exactly.
In spite of it.
At least I turned up.
Fucking right.
You know, exactly. So, Dad, have you ever met any of your heroes? Who were they and what was the deal?
Heroes?
I don't have heroes.
Yeah, there's one or two people I look up to. But I can't say I've ever really met one.
Yeah. Who do you look up to?
Mainly some sportsmen, that play for Crystal Palace. That's my football team, or soccer team, as you call it.
Well, you kick a foot with the ball, so kick a ball with the foot.
Yeah, I don't look at other people as heroes. I look at them as people doing a good job of what they're meant to do.
Right. Yeah, and they it's weird as a man. I think it depends on who you're raised as well. Like, I have a difficult time sort of worshiping other dudes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even
definitely.
on this show, we interview people, and I sort of have a difficult time interviewing other men and being like, looking at
I do because you're supposed to sit there and talk and be enamored by what they're saying and be like, wow, this is incredible. Wow.
Like in my mind, I'm going like, what type of loser am I right now? Living vicariously through your accomplishment. No, it makes me want to go accomplish something, and I can respect somebody's accomplishments, and I want But it's a weird thing to sit down, and I really feel like if I wanted to, I could have gone down the path of trying to get a job with the UFC, being a true like radio guy, and all those guys at SiriusXM fucking suck at the job. Half those guys.
Yeah.
If I focus on being that guy that was interviewing fighters,
you
and
could do it
writing
very
shit, easily, it just never got me excited. It was more exciting to sit down with you and talk shit as buds, and to have a conversation versus.
Yeah, I never really had any heroes either. I mean, as you say, I mean, a lot of people. I get asked the question all the time, what fighter inspired you or whatever. And there was never a fighter, and I've spoke about this before, so I don't mean to repeat myself. Never a fighter that I looked at, I watched as a kid and thought, wow, I want to be that guy. I mean, my dad will tell you it was a very different set of circumstances.
Very, very, very different.
Purely an economical thing. It was just money. That was the only reason. I never looked at a fighter and thought, I want to be that guy. But there is people that you certainly respect in life, and you see how they've made such a fantastic life with limited opportunities. I mean, look at Arnold Schwarzenegger, for crying out loud. If you don't respect what that guy did, coming from a poor part of Austria after the Second World War, educated himself, learned to speak English, came to America, became the world's best bodybuilder, then became the biggest movie star in the world, then became the governor of California.
It's crazy.
If you can't respect that guy, then you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
The achievements are fantastic.
Achievements are fantastic. And then now, because I'm trying to get involved with the acting. Well, I'm not trying to get involved. I am involved in the acting world, but I'm trying to do more and more and more. And I look at people that don't have an acting background that are now killing the acting game. I look at guys like that for inspiration. Like The Rock.
The Rock is a perfect
The
example
Rock is a perfect one. Jason Statham, he was an Olympic swimmer. He didn't go to theatre school or anything like that, And now, of course, he's a massive movie star. So people like that, whilst I'm not saying like I sit and fanboy out at them, but I do look at them and they do inspire me and think, well, if that guy who didn't go to drama school, didn't go to theatre school, wasn't a trained actor, an actor, but then, crushing the game, then of course then other people can. And I take inspiration from that.
I always take inspiration from people, and it's not so much like a oh my God, I'm putting on my pedestal. I just look at people that have done things that I would want to do, and they do it at a very high level, and I just have a lot of respect for it. You almost want to you pick that guy's brain or have a conversation with him. I don't know if I've ever been disappointed by a hero. I told this on the show, so I'll tell the quick version.
And by the way, thank you, Ash, for saying that I'm a disappointment. I truly, truly appreciate that. You're the man. Thanks,
I'm back
Ash.
in the UK next week. I'll come looking for you.
Come and see me. I'll be sure not to sign anything next time. Picture, go fuck yourself.
Well, I met.
Oh, he had a beer the night before. That's it. I don't want to speak to him.
I was in LA, a few months ago, 6 months ago maybe, and I talked about this. And Chuck Liddell came into the diner.
Oh, yeah, you said, yeah.
What was the diner that we were at?
Mel's Diner?
Mel's Diner.
Mel's Diner.
She was there with me, and she'll back me up on this because Chuck was there with his chick, hot blonde chick, some agents, some dudes in suits. And I know, look, if I'm eating dinner, especially when you're eating, with friends, you don't really want to be bothered. You don't want, to say, now I'm not famous enough where that really happens. I wouldn't care. If somebody recognizes me, I sort of just kind of, I feel important for that one moment in my life. I get that a couple times a week. That's it. But I get it. Chuck Liddell's very famous. He doesn't want to be bothered while he's eating dinner. So I didn't bother him.
That's the golden rule, though.
Yeah.
I think the golden rule is if they're eating dinner or eating food, you shouldn't bother them.
No, don't fuck with
I've
somebody
had that
eating.
happen all the time. I
Well,
don't
with
say
the family.
anything,
I think at all with the
whatever.
family.
Yeah, if you're eating dinner with the family. I get that a lot, though, but still, whatever.
If you're walking down the street with your daughter, nobody should come up to you. Nobody should come up to you.
I get that all the time.
You're being a father.
Or if you're drinking coffee with your father in Macau at a certain...
Yeah. That was Luke Rocco. Luke Rocco. Me and my dad were having coffee in the morning. He came over chatting shit, didn't he, Dad?
Yeah.
Wait, actually trying to pop shit?
Yeah.
When was this?
After the Kung Lee
After I beat
fight.
Kung Lee, we were in Macau the next morning.
Whoa.
We were having a coffee, and Rocco came up. He was still drunk from the night before. Go on, Dad, I'll let you talk.
Yeah, and he came over and he starts talking shit and, fuck off. Yeah.
Just talking shit like...
Yeah, just like calling me out. Yo, Bisping, fuck you, and all this type of stuff. I'm like, dude, do you mind? I said, I'm sat here having a coffee with my dad
That's
on a
weird.
Sunday
Of
morning.
course, yeah.
I said, you're still drunk, Luke. How about you go on and sleep it off?
Yeah, that's crazy. You don't do that in front of somebody's parent.
No, but
That's very
here's
disrespectful.
one thing that happens to me a lot, and I'll often be with Callum, for example. This has happened a lot. Like, where was I just recently? It happens all the time. I'll be with a kid, one of my children, pardon me, and... Like, for example, we were at International Fight Week, and I get it. We're walking through a casino, and they're all MMA fans, and obviously I fight in the UFC, so they want pictures, which is great. And I try and take as many as I can. I do. But then it becomes that my son, that I'm trying to look after, is just standing there on his own in the middle of a casino whilst I'm basically doing an appearance. So after that, I say, listen, guys, I really appreciate it, but my son's just standing here. I'm trying to have a day with my son here, you know. So the last one, and then it's never last one. There's always more, you know. And you always give it time.
My buddy, I'm friends with Sal from the Impractical Jokers, and I don't even.
By the way, we love the Impractical Jokers now. I know I talk shit about it.
You did talk shit, but now you watch it?
Now I watch it. My son loves it, and it's great. It's great. Yeah, it's good.
Because I think
because I've never really seen it. I'd seen it once. I was like, what is this shit? But Lucas is his favourite show. We bond over it. We like it. Anyway, go on.
It is really funny. And those guys are super fucking cool. I just did their cruise this year. And Sal, I've been friends with for a while. He comes on the podcast a lot. But you don't realize how famous they are. Being in New York or L.A., like, people have almost an attitude. Even people that aren't famous, they almost go, all right, whatever, impress me. They're going off to their high-paying job. And everyone almost wants to be a rock star in big cities, right?
Right.
But you go to, like, the Midwest, or you go to different parts of the country, dude, these people are celebrities. Sal Vulcano, we were in Vegas, which is like a lot of tourists. We're just walking through a casino. He's mobbed. I mean, 100 people just surrounding him. And he taught me a great trick where he was like, make them take a selfie with you as you walk. He was like, I won't stop. I never stop.
I do that one. I do. I said, well, get it ready. Do it as we're walking. If you stop, then I sound like an asshole saying this because I don't think I'm a big deal. But then, because sometimes what happens is people see somebody getting a picture. And they might not even
know who you are.
They might not even know who you are.
Do you see that thing on YouTube? That's one of the greatest things. You make that point.
And they come over and they just want a picture. They don't even know who you are. I say, oh, you famous? Yeah, I want a picture. I'm like,
did you see that on YouTube? The guy who pretended to be a celebrity wasn't even a celebrity. He was pretending to be any celebrity. And he was like, my name is J.C. Chavez, and he's a good-looking kid. And they went in with like his friends with cameras, and they just a few friends to make up. Like, oh, this guy J.C. Chavez is here. You guys got
yeah.
And within 2 hours, there's 200 people around this guy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Exactly.
He's not a celebrity. He's a made-up person. But people are so obsessed with celebrity. They're like, oh, he's the newest fucking.
And you know what the thing is for me as well. Sorry, Dad, were you going to say something?
Well, I was trying to tell him a quick story. When you fought Alan Belcher in New Jersey,
right?
Me and my friend, who's only 4'6".
By the way, I always worry when my dad said I'm going to tell a story.
Yeah,
I'm always like, what is this going to be?
We're
you have no idea where this is
down the road.
So this Moroccan came up to us.
It's fucking Mongolian.
We're walking from our hotel down to Michael's hotel, and my friend's 4'6", and these group of women, about 4 or 5 of them,
which is very short.
Yeah.
Shout out Little Mick as well if you're listening.
Said,
thanks, Mick.
Are you two actors? And I went, yeah, we're making the remake of Twins. I'm playing Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he's playing Danny DeVito. They took us in a bar and got us pissed.
No, they just thought
it's drunk.
That's hilarious.
And the thing is, these days as well, people come and see you, and they just want a picture when they see you. They just want a picture. They don't want an interaction. Sometimes I'll be like, well, do you know what? Today I actually look like shit, and or I might be hungover or whatever. I look like crap, and they come up with the selfie, and it's the worst angle. And it's like, dude, that picture was terrible.
Yeah.
But you don't give a fuck because you just want to show off and say, oh, I meant this. How about, because I don't want to do a picture as well because I feel like an asshole. We're in a public place. We're in a restaurant. Can I get a picture? I said, no. But I'll sit and talk to you for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, come talk
I'll shake your hand and say, I'll shoot the shit for a minute or two.
Yeah.
But they don't want that necessarily. They just want a picture that they can put on Instagram.
Well, because they want the likes. They need that. They need to go post it on social media.
And
it's an obsessive culture. It's sad in a weird way, and it's good as we're your dad's here.
Not that I have a problem with it. But I'm just saying sometimes they don't necessarily want to talk to you. Well,
you see that now, and a lot of they're doing this a lot now with the comedy clubs. They do it, but with concerts, they're doing it now where it's like a no cell phone policy. Like you're not even allowed to pull out your cell phone because they don't want you recording the experience, whatever it might be. But it is kind of nice because it kind of I saw Nine Inch Nails last summer, and it's like I looked out into the crowd and I was like, it was the first time I ever saw them. One of my favorite bands since the '90s, and I was like, that kind of sucks that I waited till 2017 or 2018 to see this band because you look out into the crowd and it's just a bunch of millennials with their cell phones and they're looking at their cell phone and you kind of go like. Just be there to experience
well, that's it because they don't experience it. They stand there and they film it the whole time and they're looking at it through the screen. You're there, enjoy it, live in the moment.
Yeah.
But they just want to share it on Instagram or social media or Facebook, whatever, to show off to the friends.
To say I was there.
It's better than memories. All right, maybe take a picture or two. Yeah, great.
Take
a picture, remember that, look back on it in years to come and say, oh yeah, remember that night.
Yeah.
But anyway, whatever. Next question.
Final question. This is a good one. Hold on. Let me see. I don't want to click on anything wrong. All right. Dear both, I hope this finds you both well. I have 2 questions, one for each of you. Number 1, Mike, thanks for all the awesome fights. If you retire or decide to kick Rockhold's ass again, me, and I'm sure the rest of the BYM community, will support you fully in your endeavors. My question is, what was your best training camp ever and why?
Oof, best training camp ever. Honestly, I would probably say the GSP fight.
Yeah.
Even though the fight wasn't good, the GSP fight, the training camp was great. Possibly I did a little bit too much, but performance-wise, I was performing fantastically. I was sparring with a lot of good guys. I was getting a lot of knockouts in training. We brought in one kid from Bellator. I jab, left, high kick, boom, knocked him out cold. We'd flown him in from Cleveland, I think it was. First fucking day, I broke his jaw. Do you know what I mean?
Jeez.
And I didn't even mean to do it. I was just on. You know what I mean? And I won't say his name because I don't want to disrespect him. And then, it was. Every time I was just on fire. I was knocking people out. I was feeling good, feeling great. We had these fantastic wrestlers that we brought in, and at the start of camp, they were throwing me around a little bit. By the end, they couldn't take me down. Or if they did, I was getting right back to my feet. Just physically, mentally, in a great place. Felt really good. Of course, last training session, as I've said on here before, tore the cartilage in my ribs, and that fucked me up a little bit. But yeah, I'd probably say that one. It's funny because I've done it for so long now. You look back at training camps and you think, wow, that was completely wrong. Like back in the early days, I didn't really have a clue what I was doing. And I was with a team of people that didn't really know what they were doing either. But it's like anything. You learn, it's a process. The more you do it, the better you get. The better you get at fighting, the better you get at preparing for fights. Because you look at every fight and you think, shit, in that camp, I did too much of this, too much of that, and you analyse it afterwards, and you try and not make the same mistakes afterwards. For me, the same mistake that I kept always making was overtraining. But that's a real hard one, because you want to do it and you're not lazy and you want to push yourself. But like Perillo said, it takes confidence to take a day off.
Yeah.
Lazy bastards will take a day off because they just want to be lazy. But when you're ready and you're like, I don't need to train today. I don't need to do it because I'm in a good place. It can be mental weakness that you continue training or pushing yourself so much. For me, I was doing a lot because of the weight. Making 185 has always been really, really hard. It's always been a lot of dieting to make it to 185 and a lot of running. And I think that's where a lot of the overtraining came from. You know what I mean? Having to do those miles every morning, So yeah. You got one last question for my dad before we sign off.
Well, this guy had a question for me as well, and then we'll ask one more for your dad, and then we'll get out of here. Lewis, thanks for all your entertainment. I wish you the best in your comedy career and with your current fitness regimen. My question is for you: is if you were to fight CM Punk, how long would it last, and would you win? Blah blah blah. No, I wouldn't win. We fucked around before on the show. No, CM Punk trains. I've never trained any day in my life. It's very disrespectful for me to sit here and say, here's the truth. No, I think I'm a tougher guy.
Have they announced CM Punk on UFC Chicago?
No, not officially, but it looks like it's going to happen, right?
I don't know. Maybe it's an official. Maybe it's unofficial. Maybe it's a rumor. Maybe we're breaking news on BYM. I don't know. Read between the lines. Lewis, you were saying.
The point is, I don't want to disrespect any person who spends years of their life training, and he's been doing that for years. Like, we're fucking around when we say that. Like, I think I'm tougher than your average comedian, but that doesn't mean shit, dude. Your average comedian's a pussy. Let's get real.
Who's an average comedian?
The average.
Give me a name that someone will know.
In terms of like,
in terms of average comedian in each and every way. Average. Ricky Gervais.
No, I almost feel like when you call somebody average, like that's it's almost like an insult.
Joe Rogan, you're as tough as Joe Rogan.
No, Joe Rogan would fucking.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Fucking Murray. Those one guys are not average. Like in terms of physical prowess, like the average comedian's going to be like fucking, Eugene Meerman or fucking Norm Macdonald. It's like I don't know. I could probably kick Norm Macdonald's ass if I really had to. If the shit hit the fan and Norm Macdonald wanted to fight me.
Once again, I've seen you rolling around on floors, punching people, Lewis. So I don't know. You're playing it down.
Shit.
Dad.
Yeah, this is it. So look, we'll wrap this one up here in just a second. Let me see if I have one more question that we can give for your dad. All right, I have one.
Go ahead.
Great question to end the show with. What would you say is your proudest moment so far for your son?
No, it's a great. It doesn't have to be about me. Ask him something not about me.
That's a good question. I'll tell you why.
I don't want it to be about me.
I'll tell you why. Because I'm a father. And that's not has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. Whatever. It's about being a father and his perspective because maybe it has nothing to do with your fighting. Maybe it's
I'll just walk away.
10 years old.
He's
going to get a beer and pissed. He's acting like he's embarrassed.
Well, I know what you expect me to say. That's when he won the title.
No, not at all.
Actually, that's not the proudest moment.
I feel like that's too late in his life to be the most
proudest moment to me was watching him and Rebecca get married.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really nice. Why?
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
I just loved it. It was, almost like the end of a journey. They'd met, they'd lived together, they'd had children, and then there was that, final commitment.
Yeah.
And that was my proudest moment.
That's incredible. That's incredible. And yeah, I think he's being an asshole right now. But I mean, I know it's embarrassing for him. But look, I think, as a dad, for me and him, this is a through line of this show. Obviously we talk about fighting and we talk about comedy and entertainment and pop culture and blah, blah, blah. But I think it sort of always comes back to how you can be as a father. I think it's one of the most important things. When you talk about, we were talking before about people that we consider heroes. Yeah, I don't really put other men on a pedestal like that. But when somebody's a good parent, somebody's a really good dad.
Sometimes when you want to meet your hero, I mean, there's one person I would love to meet. And that's Michael Caine.
Yeah.
The British actor.
I thought you were him last night when I first met you.
But I'm sure Michael Caine don't want to meet me.
Right. Yeah.
And if it was at a meet and greet, and I met him, he's working.
Of course.
He's not there through choice.
Yeah.
He's got to sit down and have a beer with me.
Yeah.
It's if I bumped into him and we sat down and had a few beers together, that I would enjoy.
Story. Yeah.
But just to walk up and shake his hand and so I met Michael Caine.
Oh my God! I'm never going to wash this hand again.
Wouldn't mean anything to me.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, that's what I respect in a dude is somebody who's like a good father, takes care of their kids, who cares about the kids, cares about their kids growing up and having a better life than they did. That, in my opinion, is a more important quality.
Well, we all want that for our children.
Yeah,
we all want our children to have more and a better life than what we had.
Yeah.
My father wanted that for me and my brothers and sisters. I wanted that for my children. And I'm sure Mike and my other children want it for all my grandchildren.
Of course.
That's a natural progression.
You would think that, but I think in today's society, we're almost like training the younger people to be a little more narcissistic, a little bit more about themselves, a little bit more focused on what's going on in their lives. We're talking about with the social media and the pictures and all this other stuff. And yeah, it's I hope that's the case. I hope years from now, generationally, that's sort of something that's built into our kids.
I'll tell you what I thought was really nice, and it was Callum, Mike's son. The night Mike fought GSP, and I walked over from the hotel to Madison Square Garden with Callum, and we walked past a homeless person, and Callum put his hand in his pocket, and I don't know how much it was, but he gave him a few dollars.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, you're 16, and you're doing that. You've been brought up well.
Yeah.
Well done, Michael.
Good.
Because you've brought your son up to care about other people.
It's so funny because if Callum ever moved to New York City, that would be gone within 3 days.
Yeah.
Within 3 days, he'd be stepping over the homeless people, just like every other asshole in New York. Because you cannot. My first day in New York City,
or you'd be bankrupt.
Dude, I gave every homeless person in New York City $1 out of my pocket, and then $20 later, I was like, dude, I just can't do it. Fuck the homeless. I'm done.
I think we're done.
There we go. This is it. Jan, thank you so much. Mr. Bisping, thank you so much. Great show. Guys, go subscribe to the podcast, obviously on iTunes. Review, rate, all that good stuff. We will check you. Actually, we're doing a second one this week. Friday, we got another one in the back. I think Mickey Gall wants to come.
All right, cool.
He's in town, so we'll do one with Mickey. This is it. All right, guys, peace.
For an enviable beard and healthy feeling skin underneath, opt for beard care from Just for Men, the #1 beard experts. Soften up, smooth out, beard on. Kiss your average beard goodbye and usher in your softest, smoothest, bestest beard and skin underneath with Just for Men face and beard wash, beard conditioner, beard oil and beard balm, all of which are made with soothing oatmeal, aloe, chamomile and jojoba oil. Put your best beard forward. Visit jfmbestbeard.com, as in Just for Men, bestbeard.com. Visit jfmbestbeard.com and use the promo code BestBeard25 to get 25% off your purchase.
He's going to get a beer and piss. He's acting like he's embarrassed.
Well, I know what you expect me to say, and that's when he won the title.
No, not at all.
Actually, that's not the proudest moment.
I feel like that's too late in his life to be the most
proudest moment to me was watching him and Rebecca get married.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really nice. Why?
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
I just loved it. It was, almost like the end of a journey. They'd met, they'd lived together, they'd had children, and then there was that, final commitment.
Yeah.
And that was my proudest moment.
That's incredible. That's incredible. And yeah, I think he's being an asshole right now. But I mean, I know it's embarrassing for him. But look, I think, as a dad, for me and him, this is a through line of this show. Obviously we talk about fighting and we talk about comedy and entertainment and pop culture and blah, blah, blah. But I think it sort of always comes back to how you can be as a father. I think it's one of the most important things. When you talk about, we were talking before about people that we consider heroes. Yeah, I don't really put other men on a pedestal like that. But when somebody's a good parent, somebody's a really good dad.
Sometimes when you want to meet your hero, I mean, there's one person I would love to meet, and that's Michael Caine.
Yeah.
You know, the British actor.
I thought you were him last night when I first met you.
But I'm sure Michael Caine don't want to meet me.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
and
yeah.
if it was at a meet and greet, you know, and I met him, he's working.
Of course.
He's not there through choice.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
that he's got to sit down and have a beer with me.
yeah.
You know, it's if I bumped into him and we sat down and had a few beers together, that
It'd be a
I would
different
enjoy.
story. Yeah,
but
of
just
course.
to walk up and shake his hand and say, "I met Michael Caine."
Oh my God, I'm never gonna wash this hand
You
again.
know, wouldn't mean anything to me.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, that's what I respect in a dude is somebody who's like a good father, takes care of their kids, who cares about the kids, cares about you know their kids growing up and having a better life than they did. That, in my opinion, is a more important quality
Well,
than
we all want that for our children.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
all want our children to have more and a better life than what we had.
yeah.
You know, my father wanted that from me and my brothers and sisters. I wanted that for my children, and I'm sure Mike and my
I know
other
he does.
children
Yeah.
want it for all my grandchildren.
Of course.
You know,
Well,
that's
I
a
think
natural progression.
you would think that, but I think in today's society, we're almost like training the younger people to be a little more narcissistic, a little bit more about themselves, a little bit more focused on what's going on in their lives. We're talking about with the social media and the pictures and all this other stuff. And yeah, it's I hope that's the case. I hope years from now, generationally, that's sort of something that's built into our kids.
I'll tell you what I thought was really nice, and it was Callum, Mike's son. The night Mike fought GSP, and I walked over from the hotel to Madison Square Garden with Callum, and we walked past a homeless person, and Callum put his hand in his pocket, and I don't know how much it was, but he gave him a few dollars.
Oh, wow.
You know, and I thought, you're 16,
Yeah.
you know, and you're doing that. You know, you've been brought up well.
Yeah.
Well done, Michael.
Good.
You know, because you've brought your son up to care about
Yeah.
other people.
It's so funny because if Callum ever moved to New York City, that would be gone within 3 days.
Oh,
Within 3 days, he'd be stepping over the homeless people, just like every other asshole in New York. Because you cannot. My first day in New
or
York
you'd
City,
be bankrupt.
dude, I gave every homeless person in New York City $1 out of my pocket, and then $20 later, I was like, dude, I just can't do it. Fuck the homeless. I'm done.
I think we're done.
There we go. This is it. Jan, thank you so much. Mr. Bisping, thank you so much. Great show. Guys, go subscribe to the podcast, obviously on iTunes. Review, rate, all that good stuff. We will check you. Actually, we're doing a second one this week. Friday, we got another one in the back. I think Mickey Gall wants to come. He's in town, so we'll do one with Mickey. This is it. All right, guys. Peace.
For an enviable beard and healthy feeling skin underneath, opt for Beard Care from Just for Men, the #1 beard experts. Soften up, smooth out, beard on. Kiss your average beard goodbye and usher in your softest, smoothest, bestest beard and skin underneath with Just for Men face and beard wash, beard conditioner, beard oil and beard balm, all of which are made with soothing oatmeal, aloe, chamomile and jojoba oil. Put your best beard forward. Visit jfmbestbeard.com, as in Just for Men, bestbeard.com. Visit jfmbestbeard.com and use the promo code BestBeard25 to get 25% off your purchase. Visit jfmbestbeard.com, as in Just for Men, bestbeard.com. Visit jfmbestbeard.com and use the promo code BestBeard25 to get 25% off your purchase.